It is Super Brawl Sunday. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Classic Watch Along. We are going to get our final WCW show in before we get into WrestleMania season here, because the next couple of months on the channel is going to be very WWE heavy. And it's going to be that way with the watch-alongs too. So we had one little chance here near the end of February to squeeze in a WCW show. I kind of looked at the Super Brawls. You guys had a lot of great recommendations last week, and I kind of looked at all of them, 93, 96, and a few other ones that you guys mentioned, and I kind of liked this card the most. It's big, a lot of good stuff on there. We have 2 cage matches. We have 2 WCW tag team title matches, and I'm not sure why. Maybe We Are Pro Wrestling can point that out or explain that if he's here today. And this should be a good one for Sunday. I'm glad I made it up here. Wasn't sure. Had a bone marrow biopsy today at 11 o'clock in the morning, just 6 hours ago. Hurt like a motherfucker. But I'm all right. I got a big patch of blood on my butt. And I'm all right, though. We're here. We're live. Moderate pain. Nothing worth canceling the stream over. And this will be a nice distraction from my moderate discomfort that I'm going through right now. We're going to watch WCW Super Brawl together. So I hope you guys are having a great Sunday so far. I'll do some shout-outs while you guys head over to Peacock and pull up Super Brawl Season 6, Episode 1. The runtime, according to Peacock, is 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 9 seconds. So a pretty good-sized pay-per-view. Tonight, in just a couple of minutes, we'll hit play together. When we do that, the timer right below my face there will begin to run. If you experience any interruptions or ads over on Peacock, or any interruptions at all, use that timer to sync back up. I have killed the ads on this video, so you should not experience any ads here. And I want to offer you guys a major apology for last week. I don't know how I sat here for 3 hours and watched that pay-per-view with you guys, not knowing that the chat was set to members only. Or I'm sorry, members only. I didn't know that. I always set them to subscribers only. I must have clicked the wrong thing, didn't even notice it, and we went through that whole show last week, all you guys chatting, and I'm not realizing that every one of you has a Good Mic Work icon next to your name, and you're all members, but I wasn't aware of that, and I'm sorry for those of you who weren't members trying to chat last week and weren't able to. That was my bad. I'll try to do a better job of double-checking my settings. So as far as I know, for this stream, let me double check. The ads should be off. They are. So we're all good there. So just wanted to offer an apology for last week. And right on, I'll do some shout outs here, and then we'll get going on the pay-per-view. Good to see Zane G in here, Tatanani as well. We got William Cullen and Mike Rouse. Ray Frand is in the house. Ryan Dempsey, good to see you. Mike Games version 1. We got George Morris in here with us, Token 5, as I take a sip of my Jersey Mike's. Hey, Greg, how are you doing? And how is Tito and Elizabeth? I don't remember this one. I just got Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra 5G, 512 gigabytes. What phone do you have? I think I have the iPhone 13. And I got so many damn gigs. I got like 10 years of photos in this thing. So I got gigs out the ass and space out the ass. But I think I've got a 13. I don't even know where it tells you this. Anyway, I'll look it up later. But yeah, I got an iPhone. I'm an iPhone guy. But happy for you, man. Tito down here sleeping. Elizabeth is out at the store with her daughter. Everybody's fine in Gregland, except for my sore butt. Got a sore butt today. There's We Are Pro Wrestling. Good to see you. Colin Wright is here as well. Brandon McNeil, my friend. Garrett Osborne. Barry MK from Hawaii chiming in. Jay Richter is here. And Ryan Adams has $10 for us. What's up, Greg and chat? With Mania being so late in April, what about some NXT TakeOver watch-alongs? TakeOver Dallas, Joe versus Balor, Sammy versus Shinsuke in his WWE debut. They were great. Maybe we can do those as like a bonus watch-along. Maybe a members only or a weekday watch-along. I like that idea. We'll get a lot of stuff done in April, though. We're still going to be doing a lot in March and April in terms of watch-alongs. But since Mania is so late in April, we might finish all the WrestleManias we need to watch this year, and this has to be the year. Unfortunately, we knew this was going to happen. This is going to be the year of the bad Manias. We're going to watch 2. We're going to watch 9. We're going to watch 11. So get ready. Bring alcohol. Juliet is in the house. Good to see you. We have Brandon Barnes in here as well, along with David Brown. JR Falls, good to see you. Bears 546. Everyone else who is in here, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Welcome. Happy Sunday to you. I love classic watch-along Sunday. They're great. My Peacock is pulled up. Hopefully your Peacock is pulled up too. I think it's time to hit play on this here pay-per-view. Let me just straighten out my monitor. I got about a 30-inch monitor here, but I want it a little closer. There we go. All right, I am ready to rock with Super Brawl 6. If you guys are, we're going to go 3, 2, 1, play. That's how we do it here. Let me just get my fingers queued up here. All right, I am good to go on my end. All right, let's do it. WCW Super Brawl 6. Let's rock. 3, 2, 1, play. All right, I think I've done it. Look at these wonderful video production values WCW has. So low rent. Who's doing the voiceover here? It's just... I always thought that WCW's like pay-per-view intros and video packages and hype packages were done on the most basic and primitive video editing you could do back then. Like WCW or WWE's felt so much more refined. Check out Konnan. He looks like Rico Suave. Rico. Nasties and Public Enemy. Wow. Oh yeah, and this is Booker Man. We're watching Booker Man tonight. I have not even opened up my Frosty one, and trust me, I need one today. My ass hurts. St. Petersburg, huh? Interesting looking arena there. I don't know if I saw this one. I don't believe I ordered this on pay-per-view. Actually, I know I didn't. So I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if I've ever seen this. I don't think I have. Look at this trio. Shivani, Dusty, and Bobby. Tony, Bobby, Dusty. If your name does not end in Y, you need not apply. You can smell danger in the area. Y'all, can you smell the danger in the area? Bobby. It is wild how many WCW pay-per-views open this way. They'd hype up the crowd, they'd open the show, pyro, and then the announcers would talk for 5 minutes. All right, I think this is Public Enemy. I recognize this shitty music. Public Enemy was like the appetizer to the Dudley Boys. Kind of like how Ken Shamrock was the appetizer to Brock. It's like the same thing. Although I think I liked Shamrock a little bit better than Public Enemy. Never really liked them. I mean, they were the ones to really start the crazy table breaking. You know, they were the first ones that I remember that were stacking tables and shit like that. You know, Public Enemy was the first team that I saw doing that. Because people weren't stacking tables and doing moonsaults into them in the 80s. It just wasn't a thing. I mean, if you take out the lyrics here, I've said it a million times, if you take out the lyrics to the Nasty Boy song, it's the same song as the WWE song. JR Falls, no, this is 1996. I should have put the date. Oh, I have it. It's on the description. Read the title of the video. I thought for a minute I didn't have it on there, but I do. It's 1996. So it's Super Brawl 6 in 1996. So I'm assuming they started in 1991. I ordered one Super Brawl on pay-per-view. It might have been 98. I think it probably was. But I don't remember. I know I've ordered one Super Brawl. I think I've ordered at least one of every WCW pay-per-view. I've definitely ordered a Sold Out, a SuperBrawl, a Spring Stampede. But every year I would order 1 to 3 WCW pay-per-views between the years of 97 and they are closing. I enjoyed, well, I guess this is still the same run. Because Nasty's had been in the company by this point for what, 3 years? Jesus, this is Rocco Rock. He went all the way back to get a table. He looks like you get the kind of hairdo you would get if you like get off a cruise ship in the Bahamas and somebody on the streets wants to braid your hair. That's what you get, is the Rocco Rock. When I went on the Jericho cruise, got off and we were walking around the Bahamas and Brian Alvarez was there and he got pulled out by somebody off the streets and then he came back, showed up back on the boat later with the Rocco Rock thing going on. I was like, did that lady on the street do it to you? He goes, yep. I was like, that's badass. Unfortunately, I don't have that option. One table's already up. I love how that table has the curtain on it. Ooh. You know, just 2 months before this. So Public Enemy must have just come in because they wrestled a dark match at Survivor Series 95, which would have been in November. So they must have literally just came into the company within the last handful of weeks. Oof. Trash can to the face. Remember we watched, I forgot what pay-per-view it was. It was last year. It was WCW. It was like the Nasty Boys against Cactus and somebody. And Cactus got like the shovel to the face. Just wearing him out. Now fits like a hat. Oh, it was Max Payne. Yeah. Max Payne. Oh, my God. It's funny, like after Public Enemy had that one dark match at Survivor Series, they came back to WWE, right? It was like 98 or something. They were there for an hour. And they both passed away, too. Yeah, Johnny B. Bad was on his way out right around this time. Does he have a match tonight? Because he debuts at WrestleMania, which is the following month. Pretty sure WrestleMania 12 was a March WrestleMania. He does have a match. Holy shit. And he wins? Damn. He must be... Things must unravel quickly for him then. I mean, we've officially now, we're venturing into 30-year territory of table bumps being a regular thing. 30, think about that. Like, you get an occasional table bump sometimes, but it was always really weird. You know, Harley Race had the one in the 80s that actually hurt him and injured him. You know, Brett went through it at Survivor Series. You know, Shawn at Good Friends, Better Enemies in a couple months gets power bombed. Japan was doing it. But they didn't become like a regular routine go-to spot for basically anybody on the roster for a little while after that. But tables being stacked up and used on a routine basis, we're approaching 30 years of that, which is crazy to me. Yeah, Punk pile driving Flair, same thing, even though that looked like shit. But tables like exploding and setting them up and stacking them and, you know, planning spots, you know, that was all pretty much starting right around this time. WCW was going nuts with it. They'd put 15 tables, stacking them, and then jump off a basketball hoop. You're like, they're crazy. I love how Sags is going to suplex the table, vertical suplex to the table onto to Grunge. Ramon, I got a little bit of Japan, not much Mexico, though. I got some grainy old lucha footage and stuff, but nothing major. Back in my tape trading days, I was getting Japan tapes a lot. They were so great. I never even transferred them to DVD and hard drive because the tapes that I had were so grainy. They were like copies of a copy of a copy. Like, I can just pretty much at this point find a lot of that footage just online myself that's in way better quality, and I can just rip it and save it. Oh, here we go. We got knobs on the table, looking like a big fucking walrus. Oh! He landed on the edge of the table, breaking it. And the Nasties win. So Rocco Rock missed a swanton and landed on his ass, basically. I love how they did this last time, too. Like, why is there a merch area here? Like, there's no fans down there, so why would you have merch? It's a souvenir stand fight. They've got guardrails preventing fans from getting to the souvenir stand. What kind of shit is that? How do you make money that way? Adam, it's good to see you, man. He's like, I'm just going to land on my... Imagine the bone bruise he got from this. Ah, oh, jeez. Broke his coccyx. Had to send Uncle Rico to take care of his kids. Oh, yeah, is that what it was? The 95. I feel like we just watched something like this recently with the same type of thing, and I was laughing. I'm like, what is the souvenir stand doing backstage? Fucking Johnny B. Bad going up and buying Hogan shirts? Like, what's going on? Oh, you got a hotline scoop for us, Gene? I bet you do. On the hotline, what a surprise. That's Razor and Diesel. So this is February. They knew. Kevin Nash and Diesel coming in. At SuperBrawl tonight. One of the fantastic matches. Pitt's my guest at this time. He collectively holds the United States and the Mexican titles. Konnan, come on in. Look at Konnan before he became Gangsta Konnan. Look at him. What are you wearing?
you meet the big man, the one-man gang.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. I want to say thanks to all the lads who have been writing in, who have been congratulating me on being the new U.S. champion. There's no way I'm going to let you people down.
No problem, Max Moon. We're all very proud of you.
Yo me voy como llegué, como campeón de los Estados Unidos. Let me just clarify that to everybody. One-man gang, you're taller, you're heavier, but tonight I will be smarter. I am going to leave just as I came in, as U.S. champion.
All right, Konnan.
All right, Konnan.
This man is well over 300 pounds. You're going to have to deal with that kind of girth.
Quite the wardrobe change for him and his character in a couple years.
The one who should be watching out is him.
A tremendous international reputation again. He is the United States and the Mexican title holder. Tonight, this U.S. title on the line against the one-man gang. Konnan.
One-man gang.
To the ring, I thank you very much. In the meantime, speaking of the ring, let's get back to the ring. Dave Pinzer, Meshuggah, the monster.
Yeah, we are pro wrestling. Yeah, I know Nash has told that story about the In Your House show, but I remember, like, following the sheets and stuff around Royal Rumble time is when I think, like, maybe right after that was when I first had the thought, like, oh, shit, you know? So it was out there. What is happening? Kimberly, what are you doing? Oh, she's with Johnny B. Bad. I forgot. It's funny how here's Kimberly, and I'm assuming Sable is backstage right now. So something happens quickly. I mean, he is a champion here on February 11th, and he is at WrestleMania. So he drops this thing quick, and he's heading up north for Vince McMahon to fall in love with his wife. What's the check for? Why is there a check? There's a check in the ring. Is it for me? I could use it. Look at her dancing. Look at Kimberly. Oh. Kimberly, I always thought was ridiculously hot. She was with him. She was the booty babe. She was with DDP. What's he got? Frisbees like Lanny Poffo? Is he leaping Lanny? He's leaping Mark? Look at Kimberly dancing. I love her. Cash, $6,600,000. Why? Dallas Page? Oh, hey, there's Hogan's wife. Look. That was Hogan's wife, Linda, we just saw. Is she going to shoot it? Good job, Kimberly. The Johnny B. Bad song cracks me up. All right, that was quite the entrance there for Johnny B. Bad. Oh, look at him. He's still kind of like a J-Brone at this point. Dallas was not the Dallas Page that he would be when he was feuding with the NWO. That's where he was made. Okay, so there's some sort of split with Dallas and Kimberly. I didn't remember any of this. So is the match for the check or something? Like the winner gets the check? I don't get it. Johnny, you need to come in here and save Kimberly from her own husband. No self-high five yet. Yeah, we're not quite there.
Well, two things, Bobby, are for real right here. And that is that Johnny worked awful hard to get that World Television title, and he don't want to let it go. Now
and you don't want to let it go. Okay, winner take all. You get money and the belt and Kimberly. Wow, what a deal. It's not the first time pro wrestling has put a ownership of a woman on the line in a match. It's actually happened a bunch. It's happened twice with Terry Runnels. I know that.
SuperBrawl telecast from the beautiful Bayfront Center in St. Petersburg. And Johnny B. Bad, Diamond Dallas, of course, he was back. That he won.
Wow, so Johnny B. Bad holds the title for another month here. Then he drops it. In WrestleMania 12, I think it was late March, so that was fast. Okay, so World War III a couple months ago, and here she's been on the line. Awesome. So Kimberly, Stacy Keibler, Terry Runnels. Definitely more. There's more than that.
Actually, I'm incorrect. It was back during Norfolk that he won. Back in World War III when he won it. But they did have a big return match. And there's a stinger takeover. And look at that reversal. Two men, there you go, certainly are fine, polished pro wrestlers. No question about that. And an entirely different match than we saw in the opening bout, gentlemen.
Look at Mero. Look at Johnny B. Bad go.
Started learning their trade about the same time, right? And you've seen them come up in a situation where they're pretty even the match right here when they're one-on-one. But with all that's going on with the money and the belt and everything else, it really, I believe, falls in the favor of Johnny B. Bad. There it is. One, two. Once again, Diamond Dallas escapes.
Nobody wins with a backslide. Come on.
Wins the match. He will get that $6.6 million back for
Except Kerry Von Erich.
He's going to give the money to her.
Oh.
He's going to go out there, and bust his tail and sweat and risk physical injury and harm in a ring with a match with Diamond Dallas to win $6 million.
Okay, so they did have a match for Uncensored plan, like a big blow-off. Wow.
Everybody doesn't think like you. Everybody
And DDP's career. Interesting. I always thought, I don't remember why Johnny B. Bad left. I just thought his contract was up and he went to WWE. It sounds like something abruptly happened if they had all these plans. But maybe it was just a contract thing.
that ain't gonna happen. That didn't happen. You made that up. I did not. Yes, you did. So the fans know that Johnny would get that money back, brother. Go on, Johnny. Go on. Johnny the leapfrog, and he ducks through that time, and he's picked up by Diamond Dallas, and it's a great move as he used the top rope on the left side that time and gets him the advantage. And yes, go ahead and point to your brand because that was a very smart move.
I mean, this is February, and in, I guess, 6 months from now, maybe less, might be 5 months from now, Mark Mero is going to be Intercontinental Champion. That's wild.
Whether it be Super Bowls or whether it be SuperBrawl or whether it be titles of any kind, well, so much is at stake as it is here in WCW. You can't make a mistake. Johnny made the mistake. Dallas trying to put him away. If you had a chance to win $6 million, would you turn it in? To who? If it was, I'd turn it into a pillow. That's what I'd turn it into. If it was someone else's money, I certainly would turn it into. Yeah, but it's his money. You know, Diamond Dallas is very lucky that Kimberly has not tried to get the money back from other means, through legal channels. Well, she doesn't have a bingo card to stand on. That's good. Yeah, bingo card. Yeah, bingo, but that was her bingo card. Sure was. She was standing on. Waistlock.
That was her bingo card she was standing on. Look at the power of Paige here. Oof.
Well, he got him in those lower ribs really good.
Mark Mero's a great dude. I've met him a couple times and exchanged some DMs with him.
He calls it a 10. He's asking for
He kind of does motivational speaking and stuff. He's a very positive person.
forget it. That's right.
Still to this day.
If I waste this much time, I'd go in for the kill real quick. Oh, you don't even know who you're going home with. Well, I'll say one thing that knowing when to put somebody away, Tony, I've said this many times on the mothership, you know, is that
Kevin, did I say hi to you? I meant to. What's up?
and spending time like this might cost him later on in this matchup. So that's exactly right. And Brady, you've always agreed with that too. When you have a man beat, go ahead and beat him, right? You're there for the big paycheck. You're not nothing to put time in.
Sentiment, Johnny Bad, great agility that time. Leg spring going over the top. But keeping his
Like, I can understand Vince's attraction to him, like wanting to sign him. That's the story, is Vince saw him and wanted him. But then when they brought him in, unfortunately, he made the mistake of bringing Sable with him to the contract signing, and then Vince just, because of the disgusting, sick-ass slimeball pervert that he is, he just became completely infatuated and probably affected Mark Marrow and his success.
Johnny be bad right now. What Johnny needs to do, though, on the other side of this coin, is get himself in a position and get some time, buy some time, move himself towards the rope, get the referee to step in there, get that head cleared so you know what you're doing, because the offense now that Diamond Dallas is laying on is just too much for him at this point of the match.
Thank you for WCW letting us know who the announcers are, like we don't recognize these three voices. Look at that janky cage hanging up over there.
Oh, he certainly is. Come on, Diamond. Forget her right now.
It's so crazy, like, watching WCW in 96, but, like, before the NWO instead of after.
And look, he could have had it all. He could have been the champion.
Oh, is that going to be it? No.
Boy, it almost come back to haunt him, as we talked about. Even Bobby Heenan mentioning the fact that he was just taking his time and strolling around out there. When he got to zero, he almost got a quick pin there by Johnny Bad. Still, I got to say, Johnny Bad needs to move out the way, get himself to the ropes.
He's got to move out the way.
To break this up so he can get his head back together.
He's got to get some breathing room. He's got to get to those ropes like you say. He's got to stall for time. Like it or not, that's what you have to do in there. Diamond Dallas is the aggressor right now. But for Johnny to do anything, he's got to clear his head and get his air back.
Well, I've heard that before in the last 30 seconds.
Well, that's where I heard it from. I heard it someplace.
He used them ropes for leverage right there and took him right down. Boy, he's got a great offensive game plan. His only mistake is he's taking too much time. But offensively, Dallas has looked better tonight than I have seen him. Right here, shortcut.
Oh my goodness, using the middle rope. And Jimmy Jet.
Jimmy Jet, that's his ref's name? I don't remember Jimmy Jet.
And let him know what's going on here.
Hey, referee,
Jimmy and the Jets.
don't ask the humanoid. Don't ask the doll anything.
Oh my God, the leverage spot on the ropes.
Again, using that middle rope. Of course, a lot on the line here. The World Television title, the money, and Kimberly. She's pretty desperate right now. She does not want to go back to DDP.
Boy, it seems that way. And I know she probably wants that money right there using another.
That wouldn't, I've always hated that in wrestling. Putting your foot on the second rope like Dallas is doing now wouldn't add any extra pressure. If anything, you're going to loosen it because now you're changing the position of your body. I mean, I'm sure sometimes there's a situation where if you use the ropes for a little bit extra, it works. But that particular way, there's no way. Unlike a chin lock, and then you put you extend your feet or up this way on the second rope. Like, that's not going to do anything. It's not going to matter.
Both men now. Vertical base, and there's an elbow to the gut. Again, good move by Johnny B. Bad. Do not get
Like, sometimes maybe on an abdominal stretch, I got it. You know how they would grab the rope, and then maybe they could get a little bit more balance to, you know, cinch hard harder or something. But some of them are just dumb. Oh, there's the move that busted Steve Austin open at the King of the Ring in a couple months.
almost got him.
Oh, was he there?
Here's a lateral press and a 1 and a 2 and no.
Nope.
All right, fans, as we bring you our telecast, of course, all across the world in English, we also have our announced crew, our Spanish announced crew, bringing you the telecast.
Dallas is aggressively trying to pin. I mean, that's a smart way to do it. You don't see people do very often. They'll go in for a second pin sometimes, but never like 6 in a row.
Now he backed off again. Bad mistake by Dallas Page.
They are over there right now, our Spanish contingent, along with Konnan.
Oh, there's Konnan.
Champion, there you see former world champion Pedro Morales on your
Oh, Pedro Morales. Hell yeah.
on your right. Wave to us there, guys. You are on TV.
You are on TV.
This world TV title match.
Only 7,200 in attendance for this.
Diamond, don't jaw with the referee.
Grand Slam drew 5,000 more, didn't they?
Dropped him on his ribs. He is hurt and he hasn't taken advantage of it. Come on, Johnny. I mean, Diamond. You know, Tony, anytime you go in a situation like this, you got a game plan. I'm sure Johnny did. When he got taken out of it, he's got to resort, go back now, try to get...
Yeah, Ryan, interestingly, the championship isn't the main event of this pay-per-view. That's because Hogan is here. You have him to thank for that. Hulk Hogan pulls a WrestleMania 8 here on Randy Savage and Ric Flair, who also wrestled for the championship at WrestleMania 8, but weren't the main event because Hogan had to be. Oh, we got a 10. A 10 for Johnny B. Bad, baby. That wasn't the solar plexus. That was the cock. Jesus, Tony. How does Tony not know where the cock is located? Jeez. It's an elbow drop right to the dick. Wow, that's a nice sunset off the top. He got all the way across the ring on that. Wow, sit down powerbomb. Pearl River plunge. Tiger bomb. Or I guess that wasn't a Pearl River plunge or a Tiger bomb. It was just a sit down powerbomb. It was a Batista bomb. That's what I'm trying to say. His breathing mechanism, you can't be cutting off the breathing mechanism. You don't want to be doing that. What's up, Mike? Thanks for the 5. Hey, Greg and chat, love an old school WCW show. Just think, in a few months, the wrestling world would change forever. Yep. Hall and Nash are still in WWE. Mark Marrow is still here. Mark Marrow and Cactus Jack will both be coming in at WrestleMania 12. Oof.
You brought a good point up. We just seen it twice in a row. Consistency with Jimmy Jet, and he did it right there. That was no quick count, no slow count. It was right there. We're supposed to be in the rules and regulations of a WCW referee.
I guess in '96 WWE didn't run a May pay-per-view, did they? It was Good Friends, Better Enemies in April. Oh, yeah, because that would have been the one after Mania. So I guess did they only run 11 pay-per-views? I think they did. They're missing one in there. I'm trying to think WWE now. They had the Rumble, then they had the February in your house with the Brett Diesel cage, then Mania, then Good Friends. Was there nothing in May before King of the Ring? Oh, yeah, there was. It was Beware a Dog. Okay, never mind. Had trouble remembering. Beware a Dog. That fiasco that I watched on pay-per-view. Page is a big guy. Yeah, he's got it. Got to break the hold, Mark. Thanks, Mike, for the $2. I respect you too, Booker, man. We're going to be watching that. I don't know what it is, minute and a half match, whatever it is. Ooh. Tombstoney. Yikes. God. Tombstone to DDP. And a pin. He beat DDP with a tombstone. Don't worry, DDP. You'll feel one of those again when you decide to stalk someone's wife. It won't be the last tombstone you eat. And she stays, and look, it's made out to cash. You better protect that, because if somebody steals it, I don't think you can take that big piece of cardboard to the bank, but if it's made out to cash, that means anybody can cash it. Although I don't know how you cash $6 million. All 20s okay? Yeah, sure. They bring out suitcases. 6,600,000. Well, why don't you retire? This is 30 years ago. 6 million is about 10 million. So go ahead and call it a career. Johnny be bad. Fucking music cracks me up. Who's singing this? Elvis? But it's part of my fondest memories of WCW. Johnny be bad and the Steiners and Sting. They all had their songs. And even though they were lame, they're deeply embedded in my memory. We faded out there as Gene was talking. Now there he is with Harlem Heat.
Vegas, Nevada, as you saw during a live national telecast, it was Booker T, Stevie Ray, the Harlem Heat coming up on the short end of the deal in their match with
You know, Ryan, I don't think I saw Semi-Pro.
the rematch is going to take place, and as they say, it's for all
I never saw it. Will Ferrell, right? Never saw it.
team time. You know, Gene,
I saw the one where he, like,
time in a man's life,
when he was the skater with Napoleon Dynamite. I saw that. I remember nothing. I think it was stupid. But I never saw Semi-Pro.
know what I mean? Lex Luger, like I said before, sucker, you committed grand larceny.
Sucker.
Tonight, we gonna get you. And if birds of a feather flock together, Sting, that means you, just like
I was terrified of Harlem Heat.
for you too. When the night is over, when the smoke clears, Harlem Heat will still be the best team in WCW, because we will own the gold. Sucker. Booker T.
Sucker.
All I got to say is these two sissified suckers, a couple of punks, straight glitter boys, college punks, they don't
What? Suckers, glitter boys, college punks, Booker T.
brother, tell you, silver dollar style, straight OG style, we got game. They pull on us what we were supposed to be pulling on them, but tonight, Sting, Lex Luger,
They're both wearing the breathing thing. I've never put the... What do they do?
and watch your back.
Do they really help you?
Because me and my brother, we refuse to leave tonight without our world tag.
I could not imagine what these guys would have been like if... They're a lot like Sting to me, because I envision them in WWE, and I think they were good in WCW. They reached plenty of heights, but I just think Vince would have hitching his promotional machine behind these two. Jesus, man. I think they would have made me forget about Demolition.
Let's get back to you guys. Well, of course, it happened just this past.
Like, I think they're a more impressive looking team physically, as impressive as the Road Warriors, more impressive maybe. Same with Chronic and any other team that like kind of looked like that. Harlem Heat was just so legit to me. And I remember as a WWE fan kind of being a little bit terrified of them. And like, if they were in WWE, I just think they'd be unstoppable there.
If something happens, I believe, wrong with Luger and Sting, this situation right here, Sting gonna explode right here in front of our eyes, right here on this pay-per-view. Well, you have to understand another thing. Sting and Luger are gonna have a match.
Booker T had already done the bomb there on Hogan. That was when they were with Sherry and stuff. Or was that still coming? No, I think Sherry was with them in like 95. So I think it was like 95. I think it was the year before. We Are Pro Wrestling will know. But I'm pretty sure that would have been a 95 promo. Bobby, $6 million. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Seems like a lot. Mike, I love that match. The Harlem Heat and the Nasty Boys. Didn't we watch that? And Sherry almost came out of her dress. She was doing a number on me that night. Oh, it's not before. It's after Spring Stampede 97. Jesus. Oh, yeah. My timeline's off. Yeah. Sherry was with him after. I don't know why I thought that was 95. Got to watch your mouth. Because that would have been near the time that Sherry was, you know, mixing up with Rob Parker, I think, right? And all that going on. And I thought she looked great in that black. Oh, my God. That black dress.
They are so prepared for this situation. And as you said, it's there. Trouble in the camp of Sting and Luger. We're getting ready to find out right here. Now, what I suggest that the humanoids do is tomorrow night, tune in and watch Nitro and have a
Nice, Hassan. Congrats on the new haircut. I got one, too. Although my hair is finally starting to thin. As you can tell, I'm starting to finally show some balding signs. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is take some of my skin and comb it over. That way it'll look fuller. Oh, here comes Sting's song. Now we get his. It's a Man Called Sting. It's a stupid song, but it's a guilty pleasure. I love it. It's a man called Sting. The Hogan song I hated. I like Luger getting spooked by his own pyro.
SuperBrawl. They look good and ready, I guarantee it. Ugly looking kid.
Would you please leave our fans alone? This is World Championship Wrestling. This is where the big boys play.
Imagine Sting and Harlem Heat in the WWE. I would have taken Sting and Harlem Heat in the WWE over Luger in WWE any day.
They are the World Tag Team
Mega stars, man, I'm telling you.
Domination alone. You got to give
Harlem Heat would have gone down as the greatest tag team in WWE history. Then they would have broke off into singles. Stevie Ray would have probably just been moderately successful. Booker T would have been a megastar.
Now it's up to Luger and Sting to get along. Luger's standing on the floor, Sting's in the ring. It doesn't seem like there's a whole bunch of camaraderie there. No, I think the situation is that Sting, I've known Sting a long time, and he likes to get right into the heat of battle.
Sting and Luger. Colin Wright, thanks, dude. Always loved Booker and Kraftwerk, non-stop music. Or music non-stop.
I believe they have talked about it. Sting will start this confrontation.
God, look how horrible Nick Patrick looks. Is he not the most unattractive man you've ever seen?
Florida State Fairgrounds live tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time.
And the state fair is in progress. We might see wrestlers coming out of the Ferris wheels. Who knows what?
Wrestlers coming out of the Ferris wheels.
Yes,
You listen to yourself sometimes?
all the time. I just saw a guy come out of a balcony and went through a table. Why wouldn't a guy come out of a floor?
Yeah, Bobby's over here talking nonsense. Yeah, Sting's kind of losing his blonde.
Luger was walking around, see,
He'd start growing his hair out. He's starting to grow it right now. It'll be a little longer by the time we get to Bash at the Beach with the NWO. And then he'd spend 18 months in the rafters there and letting it really grow.
position now to get it started.
The problem lies within Lex Luger. As far as Harlem Heat's concerned and as far as the Road Warriors are concerned. Now, it is Booker T and Sting beginning things.
You know, I managed a lot of tag teams that didn't get along, but I preached to them. When the bell rings, you gotta work together, or we're out of business. That's right. And that's what's gonna happen here. They've got to work together. I don't care if you get along with each other outside those ropes. It doesn't matter. You better get
This is under the desk right now. That's Tito. Those wires right in front of him, he often will mess with those. And behind him. But that's what he's doing, in case you're wondering.
Speaking of fighting champions, former world champ Hulk Hogan, not 100%. His eye bandaged up, will go to the cage. We all were not
Mike, I agree with that 50%. I liked Surfer Sting a lot, and I really, I did like the Crow Sting when it was going on at its peak, but, you know, kind of after the fact, and they didn't know where to go, and then he turned into Wolfpack Sting. Once we got to that point, I'm like, you know, I kind of miss Surfer Sting.
no problem really for Sting.
Sting never did surf, so I don't know why we call him that.
For anybody getting in. That's why it's their fault. I mean, it has happened in the past, but he has that opportunity, one eye, if you will, to take it to the giant. And right here, Sting, as we said, has started this thing, and right here, look, nice tag. What am I saying, Bobby?
There it is. Teamwork, the balance with Luger and Sting. Luger, big force in those big arms of his. Just rocking Booker T back to the upper corner. Look at the power of Lex Luger, would you? Into the corner.
I mean, I would have loved if, like, Hall and Nash came to WCW and Sting and Harlem Heat went to WWE. That would have been a better trade.
He blocked him twice there, got him with the big foot. Look at the total package. So much power. But Harlem Heat possesses a lot of power too. And they may have been together, as Bobby said earlier, longer really in the ring actively as Sting and Lex Luger, the total package.
Now look at Luger buying some time on the outside. He is in no hurry to get back in. Sting saying, come on, let's go. There is problems.
Still crazy how Luger came into the company back in September. It's just nuts to me. 1 year ago, he's a fucking allied power, and here he is in WCW teaming up with his old buddy Sting in a WCW ring with a WCW ref against a WCW tag team. It's like Luger was right back in, you know, right back with his buddies, you know, before he shipped off to WWE. It's crazy. Yeah, I didn't hear the explanation why we get the two matches.
Here's the double team from Harlem. I saw Hogan come in about 45 minutes before the start of the pay-per-view, and he had an entourage around him, about 35 people, and they were covering him, and he had a towel over his head as he took him out of the limo into the building. So he's not showing you something. There's something wrong with his eye or his face.
There's something wrong with his eye or his face. All right. Yeah, so because later on, Sting and Lex Luger are going to wrestle the Road Warriors. So do they have some title match pending? Oh, okay. Thank you for that, We Are Pro Wrestling. Did not know that. Lex beats Johnny B. Bad for the title on Bad's Way Out. Okay. That's an appropriate guy to do it. Off topic. Luger needs to be in the WWE Hall of Fame this year. It's not that off topic. He's in the ring right now. Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. Luger for the Hall of Fame. He was never my favorite. Sometimes I'm not totally sure how I feel about him, but I feel like he's doing everything he can to make as much amends as he can. I think he's living with a lot of personal suffering and guilt too. So he's not oblivious to the way he lived his life and his hand perhaps in the way Elizabeth died and things like that. But DDP's working with him. He's doing well after being in a wheelchair for a while, and I think he's standing up and shit now, so a lot of people still like Lex. I saw him at WrestleCon, and I made eye contact with him. I didn't meet him, but we looked at each other, and he looked right at me wearing my Miss Elizabeth shirt. It was an interesting moment there. I was like, well, he saw that. Oh, wow. Sometimes they get out of the way of those elbows, like literally with a millisecond to spare. Booker was just so agile. The fact that Booker T on a tag team isn't the power man is pretty wild. Like, to me, at this time as a fan, like, I looked at them as like a black Road Warriors, a black Demolition, just a black ass-kicking team, you know, because a lot of those, you know, ass-kicking teams of the 80s, you know, with the face paint and the leather and all this, these guys just needed to be themselves. Yeah, they got flames on their trunks and shit, but, I mean, their physique, you know, alone is just enough to terrify you. And when you're a younger fan, that goes a long way. You know, that's why a lot of those teams were successful, is because when you're just so physically intimidating, and Harlem Heat doesn't have to do much. They go to the gym and they oil up. That's all I need. I'm like, Jesus Christ. They had a like Booker T has a physique like Hawk, like Road Warrior Hawk. They're just freaks of nature, you know. Yeah, we did. Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't call out the Spinneroonie, but I did see it. That's what led me talking about how athletically gifted and light on his feet Booker T was, because he is. I just think WWE could have really benefited from someone like him.
and apply yourself and make it happen. And you said this, Bobby Heenan, and I gotta admit you were right.
It's too bad Booker T never went to WWE. He could have done great things. Maybe even lose the WrestleMania match. Triple H, who knows? He could have done anything.
When the match is over, two men are going to come out from the back with spikes and lousy haircuts, just determined to become tag team champions of the world, and they'll be fresh.
Stevie Ray hooks Lex Luger, maybe a pile driver, maybe a power.
Oh, that's an ugly power bomb. That might be the ugliest power bomb ever delivered. Stevie Ray to Lex Luger just then.
No, as a matter of fact, there's going to be 2 matches between the Road Warriors match. Luger's really hurting in
Oh my God, Mike, I would love Harlem Heat versus the High Flyers.
Harlem Heat really concentrate
Would you like to see a murder?
this thing pay for 'em, making this thing play out the way they want it to.
What's Greg Gagne going to do? Arm drag him to death? Come on.
Luger and Sting, they got Luger in a situation right here to where
Like, Booker T's done time, bitch.
I find myself asking myself,
You two honkies up there living in Minnesota.
made an effort to save
No. That would not be good for Brunzell and Gagne. There used to be a baseball player in the 80s named Greg Gagne, spelled the same way as Greg Gagne. But they call him Gagne. Yeah, that is the one bad thing about Harlem Heat coming in at this time is Vince wouldn't have been able to resist just putting him in racial shit, which is annoying. So, maybe it's for the best. And like I said, they reached heights here in WCW. They were a great, well-decorated tag team. But I just think Vince would have just had those dollar signs in his eyes and just would have seen money and probably would have pushed them as bigger stars than they were perceived at this time here. Booker T be main eventing Raw every week.
right here now. Let's see if they're able to put him away.
too much time wasted.
Tell you what, we are in the era of a lot of athletes, a lot of different sports. WCW included doing a lot of hot dogging, and it's cost them. Yeah, trash talking. You're not kidding. Yeah.
What I do like about this match is that it epitomizes to me WCW. It's WCW wrestlers with a WCW ref on a WCW ring and a WCW show. It all just screams WCW. And I love that old ring mat. We just talked about that recently, how WWE just now finally started putting their own logo in the middle after, 50 years when WCW was doing this shit when I was in high school.
Took Luger back to the corner and they clobbered him.
I beg to differ with you. Sting is not a dumbass. You're right. Sting is not a dumbass.
Yeah, and Ahmed Surge, Ahmed didn't, pan out. I think he had a great, first 8 months, and then he got injured. He was never himself. And I think maybe these guys would have succeeded for Vince where Ahmed failed because Ahmed had that physical, intimidating look. And I think Vince wanted Ahmed to be what Goldberg would eventually become years later. I think that's probably what he envisioned for Ahmed, but it didn't work out. So the way they pushed Ahmed, knowing that deep down he really just didn't have what it took, and that was noticeable within a year, Vince is very attracted to physically impressive guys. That's why if Harlem Heat was there, they would have done better, especially Booker would have done better with an Ahmed push. Oh, out goes Sting. I love what ifs. I think about that all the time. What if they were there? What if these guys were there? And trying to think about how, WCW and WWE operated and how they would manage specific talent. Who's coming? Road Warriors? Oh, they're in the ring? What was that? A piece of... What's happening? Oh. They called it, brother. So Road Warriors came in and helped Sting and Luger win? Did that mean they didn't want to face Harlem Heat? I don't blame you guys. I wouldn't want to face Harlem Heat either. Because I feel like Harlem Heat are at their peak physically. Road Warriors in the decline. 1 year later, February 1997, Road Warriors would jump to WWE.
The WCW Tag Team Champion. No matter what the Road Warriors did, no matter what Harlem Heat did, this is what happened. They're now going to have to meet tonight. Sting and Luger defend the titles against the Road
Yeah, Mabel has injured a lot of people. Here's another stat for you. Rob Van Dam has injured 10 times more people than Mabel. But we celebrate Rob. Mabel just famously hurt one guy, The Undertaker. And Diesel, slightly. But not that bad. Couple of mistakes. It happens. The Hardys made a mistake when they bashed Joey Mercury's nose into the back of his skull. Nia Jax made a mistake when she potatoed Becky Lynch. Mistakes happen. This is our destiny. They're both acting like they don't know. Maybe Luger knows, but Sting doesn't. He's with the program. Sting, you're too trusting, bro. Steel plate. That's what it was.
Gentlemen, I'm going to throw it back to my colleagues, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and you, Tony Schiavone.
Mike Witt. Honest, I don't know. I know it was about a decade before Harlem Heat, but I like Doom better than Harlem Heat. I liked Doom. I don't know if I liked him better than Harlem Heat. I'm a big Ron Simmons fan and a big Butch Reed fan. And they were an impressive team to me for almost the same reasons, just very, intimidating. But I was familiar with both of them. I knew who Butch Reed was from WWE, so I'd already seen him before. But they did look good as a team. But Booker T and Stevie Ray being brothers and being bigger, physically bigger than both guys, Doom was like the appetizer. Just like Public Enemy was the appetizer to Dudley Boys. Look at Dusty. Check him out. Dusty is just crazy. He's just touching himself over there. He's just got the smirk on his face. Look at him. Hogan with only one eye. I don't want to think about Hogan's one eye. I think we already got a peek of that on that tape. Look at the one-man gang, the African Dream. I thought it was crazy. He was in WCW too. They were signing everybody. But I always liked one-man gang. He was another one, like Harlem Heat, that when I was younger, I was a wee bit afraid of. Back in the day when I was on Facebook, I was friends with him. And I always enjoyed his updates. So Konnan, everybody in the Latin community, look at him. Boy, you talk about a makeover. He's going to have the hat, fucking wife beater, the pants riding down his ass. Let me speak on this. Then he's going to DM you and ask you if you've heard his podcast and tell you that he'll shout you out in his podcast. And then he'll do that several times. Fun guy, that Konnan. Who's the ref there? Is that Brian Hildebrand? I can't. No, that's not him. Boy, it looks like him, though. Are we sure? No, that's not Brian Hildebrand, but my God, that is his twin brother right there. Konnan. It's pretty wild that a match between Konnan and the one-man gang exists. That's crazy, actually, when you say that out loud. They were kind of in operating different eras and territories and working very different styles. Oh, Zane G. I miss my MySpace. I remember signing up for that. I remember my top 8 friends. Oh, wow. I remember being pretty fascinated with the concept, though. It was awesome. I made a page for the restaurant I was managing at the time. My boss was like, can you make, he was Egyptian. He's like, can you make a my face? And I'm like, yeah, I'll make you a my face. And so I made one for the restaurant.
Great strategy by the U.S. champ. Spin wheel kick right in the upper body that time, and one-man gang is down. They can't get up.
Wow, look at the agility here, Bobby.
Konnan was in great shape.
With that drop kick. Doesn't matter. Look at
Oof.
good here.
Oh, down the stairs. That's bad.
Those are steel steps too, and they tumble all the way down the floor.
Well, you know, Konnan had a better situation there when he went out because he was on top of him, and all the weight that one-man gang had was breaking his fall. He got him again right there. And go back to what we were saying about one-man gang grounding him. Well, how do you beat him?
I've always had a problem with calling Conan O'Brien Conan O'Brien and Conan Conan. I've mixed them up like 100 times.
With the advantage, Konnan is back in the ring.
I'm like, which one's Conan? And which one's Conan? And which one's the Barbarian? I forget.
Some of the greatest matches in WCW history have been held right
Get out of the way of one-man gang.
in SuperBrawl over the past 6 years. Glad to have you with us here in the month of February as WCW in 1996 is bigger, hotter than ever.
And we're only a month into the year.
How about that?
We never got a one-man gang, and I don't think
We know you know too.
we never got one-man gang in John Tenta anywhere.
Except for the one occasion. Use that situation where he can fly and get out there in a situation to spend himself out. And now he's laying
Or maybe we did. Tenta's in. They're in the company together. We might have gotten it, or they might have been a tag team or something. Okay, so they've met each other. They're in the company together.
what he's doing. It's up to him right now to use that weight. Play on that man. Make him grasp for
Tenta would hang around here for what, another year or two before
his body. Don't let him up.
before the rise of Golga.
Yeah, you know, the power that gang has. Konnan
Yeah, gang. I noticed that too. He's taller and slimmer. Well, he's not taller, but he's slimmer. When he was in the '80s, he was huge. So was Boss Man. Yeah, where's Ray Traylor? Why didn't they hook them back up?
Here's a pickup and
Why did they put Ray Traylor and One Man Gang together for fun?
hammered him. Side salt.
The Twin Towers with two completely different gimmicks.
used his own weight. Lay down on top of Konnan.
You know, many people have
Like Big Bubba, like to me, Bubba Rogers and the One Man Gang would make way awesomer Twin Towers than One Man Gang, or I'm sorry, like Akeem and the Big Boss Man.
really the biggest man and the most powerful man that we have. But one-man gang over the years with his 747 has been a man who's been able to use his
Yeah, that's right. They were in the Doom together.
exercise. A lot of people
Sucks we didn't get a match.
can't say that about the one-man gang. And he
All right, I'm gonna go fetch another cold one.
Konnan out of this game. And Konnan, every time he fights back,
Konnan.
not really hurting him any. That's where you can hurt him, I think. Hit him in the noggin. Fist him in the head.
fist him in the head is what he's doing.
But see, every time gets cut off. I don't think he's got anything left in those punches to move the one-man gang any place. He hasn't dropped them, hasn't even made him move to one knee yet.
Kind of hurts to sit. I can't lean back. And I can't take a shower for 24 hours, which sucks because I already feel kind of dirty,
One-man gang.
He hit you good, amigo.
and not in the fun way.
Came in to WCW and defeated Kensuke Sasaki. Sasaki had defeated Sting to win the U.S. heavyweight title. So much for Sting. So many people held the U.S. heavyweight title. One of them here to my right. You know what it's like to be the U.S. heavyweight champion.
Yeah, because you're right there in a position to where the next thing in line for you is the world heavyweight title. It's very simple. And Konnan got to really dig deep down here because some say when Gang defeated Sasaki, it was an upset. I don't believe so. He used the power, used what he had at his disposal, and that's what he's doing right now.
And the competition is such in WCW that no title is safe.
Steve Grissom, WCW Grissom, motorsports driver. Okay, so they had a car too, like Sparky Plug.
This coming
Look at these dorks behind him.
They did not.
Tail light out. I'm going to tell you what, I was out with Steve Grissom. I'm going to tell you what a
Dusty Rose was out with Steve Grissom. I'll tell you what, man, boy can party.
fast car and also representing WCW. And what a year Steve Grissom will have. And I know he's watching this thing like that. And he'd rather be in a car going 200 miles an hour than be in there with a one-man gang when he'd be beating on you and belly button you
Is this real American beer I'm drinking? No, I'd rather drink a gallon of One Man Gang's piss. That would be a more enjoyable experience. No need to send me a gallon of piss in the mail. I'll just take my word for it. This referee is a trip. He's like a little discount Mark Curtis. Say, why don't I use a donut cushion? Because it's not really my. When I say my ass, it's not like my ass, like my tailbone. It's above my. It's above my ass, right above my ass, in my hip. So like it's kind of on my lower back more than my ass. So it's just. It was really hard to drive too. Because I can't really lean back in my chair, so I have to kind of sit like an old lady. Oh, he picked him up from the 747. I didn't catch the AAA logo. That's cool. Oh, it's okay, Mike. I just want people to know that I will pay you to not make me drink it. I refuse on pure principle. Look out. Oh, you are out of the way. Konnan was up to his feet before Gang jumped. Rolling. This is going to be the finish, isn't it? I can tell. Yeah. Hey, K-Dog's Kennel. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Oh, there you go. We Are Pro Wrestling. They did have a match together. That counts. It's a match. And they were both in it, right? Tenta and the gang were in the Gimmick Battle Royal. Might be the only time they've ever physically mixed it up. I'll have to go watch that match back and see if they ever interacted. Those are the little type of things that I like to think about sometimes. I'm like, oh, what about this guy? I've never thought about them together before. And then I like to start thinking about if they've had any feuds. And a lot of time they have. There's lots of history. But then other times it's like you really have to think about, shit, did they ever face? You know, I like that.
Apparently a sewer pipe broke. Every time somebody flushes the biff up on the next floor, we get a little something coming back down here. But that's
What?
Totally a different story. By the way,
Somebody, the shitter's full at SuperBrawl?
absolutely red hot. It's rumored that two World Wrestling Federation former champions
Two.
may be headed to World Championship Wrestling.
Well, my golly. I wonder who that'll be.
Tonight, along with all of the great news that is breaking here backstage at SuperBrawl.
Mean Gene, like, he's legendary. I love him, but he is such a fucking sellout. Always has been. Nothing but a sellout. No loyalty. He'll leave AWA, WWE, WCW high and dry. Couldn't give a fuck. Road Warriors look good here, though. I like the red.
Everybody on Monday Night Nitro saw what Luger did to me too. An eye for an eye in WCW. Now we didn't have no hassle with Luger, and we ain't got no hassle with Sting.
Spikes was such a great look.
On yourself. And Sting, I don't know what you're thinking, but believing in Luger, you're making a big mistake. We said we would do anything at all costs to get you in the ring. And Harlem Heat, I'm sorry. He's sorry. If you got a problem with it, get in line.
Tell him, Hawk.
Later. But Sting,
You're supposed to say tell him, Hawk.
the title, be prepared. Tell him, Hawk.
Tell him, Hawk.
Our deepest, sincerest apologies to Harlem Heat. Not too bad for you, Harlem Heat. Sting and Luger,
Even in 1996, I think Not was played out.
get your retinas, and a lot of other nasty things.
We're going to detach your retinas and a lot of other nasty things.
Not our problems, your problems. You get in with the LOD, you don't even know what you're doing.
I love Hawk. He'd just say shit, and then sometimes a sentence would stick out like hilarious. We're going to detach your retinas and a lot of other nasty things. I'm like, okay. All right. Oh, this is Taskmaster and Brian Pillman. 2 seconds. Be right back.
Later on, against Lex Luger and Sting. What we're having right now is a special added match because of the bad blood with the Taskmaster and Brian. It's a combination
of it and will be out of hand, my friends. Dusty, you know what it feels like. It's bad, isn't it, when that strap gets wet and you start getting beat with it and they start ripping it all across your eyes.
All right. Let's see this famous match. I have seen this before several times. And this was... I don't remember when exactly Brian Pillman's final appearance was, but he's coming in right after WrestleMania as well. So sometime between now and like a week after WrestleMania, he's in the car accident. And this is like a damn near a shoot here. Like, Pillman, I think, could hold his own in a fight, but I don't know, man. I think Taskmaster would take him.
Oh, man, let me tell you. Respect is the name of the game in this one right here. That's SuperBrawl 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't seen anything like this in a long time. Oh, Sullivan hit him right in the jaw. He hit him right in the jaw and almost knocked him out. And now he kicks him in the solar plexus, and they're not even thinking about a leather strap right now. Jimmy Jet has a wireless microphone.
I mean, I don't remember the full story here other than, you know, Pillman was... There it is. And calls him Booker Man. And this is all kind of the point of Brian trying to keep everybody guessing and, you know, get his name out there and get a lot of people wondering what the hell's going on. And Bischoff has always claimed that this was a idea that they came up with for him to purposely go to WWE and then come back. But then a lot of things happened.
My goodness, what a crazy one this was. They didn't even get the strap untangled.
Well, the last thing I
And so Pillman just leaves.
picking up a strap and beating me with it. There's nobody tougher than this Taskmaster. The things that go through his mind, the things he comes up with, the tortures he dreams up for people, just the nastiness this man possesses.
Okay, so this was Pillman's last WCW match because I thought he also turned up on Nitro in the crowd one night. And so I thought that was kind of like one of his last appearances, but maybe that was prior to this, but I swear he's back one more time on night, unless that Nitro night where he was in the crowd with the Pillman 9/11 thing or something, right? Maybe that's the following night. And then he made his first ECW appearance in a week. Wow. Car accident in April, signs with WWE. Okay, I thought he signed with WWE right after WrestleMania in April, but no, it was June. Okay. Crazy. Look at Arn Anderson. Look at... I lived in North Carolina, and that look with the shorts and the long sleeve, like Tommy Hilfiger shirt tucked in, was so common. And so Arn maybe has been sent out here to, well, let's just... I'll take his place.
That's what I do. Wow. Well, one thing for sure, when Brian Pillman's around, you never know what's
Arn's going to wrestle in shorts. Like he's getting in a fight at a barbecue. Look at his shoes. Nice white socks.
accept the challenge. We're getting 2 for 1 right here now. We're getting 2 respect matches for 1.
All right, and it's a strap match between Arn Anderson and Kevin Sullivan.
He's already played 18 today, and now it's strap man. Just like Jack Nicklaus, huh? Boy, he's going to town on him too, man. He is going to town on him, Tony.
You are seeing a man who wasn't even ready to fight.
I got to go back and watch podcasts on this story because I can't remember. You know, because it looks like Arn was just sent out there. If this was the plan, he would have been wearing something else. So, like, how much of an audible was really called there? Oh, wow.
He is tied up the Taskmaster. You are seeing what has transpired over the past couple of weeks on WCW Monday Nitro between the Horsemen and the Dungeon Dude.
You're not even choking him. It's around his head.
Your eyes here tonight.
Yeah, Tony, and I tell you another thing right here, you know, or the husband in the situation tonight where Iron, you know, being the enforcer for the Nature Boy, and Flair going into that cage later on against the Macho Man Randy Savage, and the Taskmaster trying to get his troops ready to take Hogan out, and now they in the heat of battle right out here, live it in public, if you will. And
Live it in public.
this is really pay-per-view television at its best. Did you see the way he dressed?
Okay, thank you, Mike. Pillman last Nitro appearance was the go home for Uncensored. Okay, because I do know he was in the crowd at one point. I watched that night, and I remember it was a big deal. And so he had already debuted in ACW by that point, if that's the case, which must have been why it was so weird at the time.
You know, you may be right. They're not going to. Arn's not going to say I respect you. Is Kevin Sullivan going to say that? You can knock all his teeth out, pull his tongue out, tie him in knot. Whoa, low blow. Low blow. If this was
Yeah, if there's not anything goes here.
5 minutes to rest.
What do you say? He said something or another. If Kevin Sullivan says I respect you, it'll be in a very high-pitched shrill right now.
Whoa, he's got him hooked up.
Just
right
choking him.
Well, what a brutal confrontation we have had from the get-go tonight. From the get-go of this pay-per-view.
Listen in. How about it, Taskmaster?
How about it?
Oh, he's enjoying himself. He's never had a better time.
I think what we got out of that was
I love Arn's belt too. Those belts that didn't really have holes in them, you can just make them as big or as long as you want. They were very popular too. Oh, pulled him over the top.
How does he continue to come back like this? I'm talking about the Taskmaster. I mean, both these guys with so much at stake tonight. And right now, this battle right here.
Anderson?
Oh, here we go.
Anderson said no. Can you imagine if you say no, that means you're going to get slapped around some more.
I'd lie. That's what I'd do. What would you do? I'd say yes. Bobby, you would have already said.
I'd be pissed if I had to go out there and work a strap match and I wasn't expecting it.
Choked him with that belt, strap hung him off the draw, beat him with a chair, and run out of the building. I still would have gotten beat.
This is WCW on pay-per-view. Matches like this only seen on our pay-per-view telecast.
And in the yard at St. Quentin sometimes.
That's right.
Wow, that's a good point.
Arn's going up to the top rope in them shoes.
They're all tied up now.
Or recess at
It's got to feel weird. Thanks for 5 more, Mike. Oh, here comes Ric Flair, too? Jesus. Yeah, if Pillman was in for the NWO angle, I thought the same thing in WWE with Shawn. Shawn and Pillman mixing it up a couple times would have been fun, but that car accident fucked everything up. Or motorcycle accident, whatever it was.
There's a microphone in the ring.
Come on, man! It's you! Double A! The giant, the nature boy! Come on! You proved nothing! Let's get at hand! What's going on? Let's get ready to kick Savage and Hogan's butt! Come on!
So is the Dungeon of Doom and like Flair and Arn and the Horsemen have like a common enemy here in Hogan and Savage? Oh yeah, Flair, you are going to say you can make a woman out of everybody's wife, right? Elizabeth would hate you, I can tell you that.
United, we stand! Divided, we fall! Hogan, it didn't work! Savage, it didn't work! Tonight, right here! He's gone.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Ric Flair's gone.
He's gone.
Now we're going to get Ric Flair dropping elbows on the mat for fun.
We destroy Hulkamania! Savage, I've taken the belt and live now! Come on, Double A!
This is just a mess.
Being a mediator.
We're together. We're a team. The Giant. Come on, tell you something, Sullivan.
This is very weird.
What I want, and that's Hogan and Savage. I get in the bed with the devil himself. He just did, my friends. He just did. Night, night. Hogan, where is he?
The chant of Hogan
Yes.
starts to swell here. And right now, we're going to go back. The argument continues a little bit out here. We go back to locker room area and meet Gene Okerlund. It's wild out here, Gene.
All right. Well, that ended. That was weird. Check out the Giant. He looks like a teenage goth girl who doesn't want to talk to anybody.
The Giant is going to go inside that steel cage.
He looks like an angry teenage girl who can't go to the mall.
Who's very determined to prove a point tonight.
Holster, I'm gonna make it very simple and clear for you, baby. You got one eye, and time is ticking away on you, man. Before you step
You got one eye.
with a 7'4" giant, Hulkamania is finished forever, baby.
Anybody ever tell you, Hart, that you get on their nerves?
Big deal, me.
Big deal, Mean Gene.
Yourself, you are going to be facing truly an immortal individual tonight.
Immortal today is gonna be a day of reckoning. Hogan, I have been in the dungeon of doom. I have looked into the souls of men, the darkest, deepest reaches of the soul, where the maggots crawl. And Hogan, all that is bad, all that is evil,
The Dungeon of Doom.
is inside of me. It's building like a mountainous volcano that's gonna erupt right here. The Bayfront Arena, all over you, Hulk Hogan.
All over. He's going to erupt all over Hogan, all over his face.
That door's gonna shut. The last thing that's gonna go through your mind is my fist. Hogan, you can't run. You can't hide. The only thing you can do is be understand and the will to know Hulkamania is through forever.
Okay.
Well, we've got a lot of loose cannons running around here, but this man is totally beside himself. Remember, Jimmy Hart, they're going to be inside a cage. You're not going to be able to get in. Big deal.
You're not going to be able to get in.
Nobody gets in, nobody gets out. Hulkster, no more watching those B-grade flicks that you have out. No more Thunder in Paradise, and no more seeing your face on WCW.
Jimmy Hart.
Two-faced little... I can't believe it. Jimmy Hart, of course.
Oh, Mean Gene, F off. You're both scumbags.
Now it's a totally different story. Hey, let's get back to the ring. I didn't need to say anything.
And here come the Road Warriors. Interesting music. I remember different music for these guys in WCW. Nothing's better than their WWE theme. That thing kicked ass. He's a man called Sting. All right, while Sting and Luger make their second entrance, I'll be back in a second. I'm glad I went out and said goodbye to Elizabeth because she bought me a candle at the store. Because I don't have one right now, so let's light it. Now what's going on here with Luger? Why is he being like that? Island Nectar. These three, Bobby, Tony, and Dusty.
I'm gonna tell you what, guys. Sting is ready to get this thing underway.
Yeah, so Luger seems like he's unsure. Like, what's his problem?
Off of the Legion of Doom, LOD, off the Road Warriors, and Luger need to get up there.
Maybe it's because they're not taking their spikes off. Sting's in the ring.
Like fighting 200-300-pound porcupines. Fans are booing Luger, and he's wasting a lot of time. I'd like to get backstage and find the Diamond Doll, maybe have a little dinner this evening.
Look at that kid staring at him like,
But right here, and you're thinking about the Diamond Doll. Hey, these two guys right here, Sting is trying to convince him to get in there, and Luger, whether it be a ploy or not, I guarantee you they have thrown the whole game plan.
Lex Luger, I'm pretty sure, is the first wrestler I ever touched. It's like a WCW house show in like 1990 or 89. And I was right up on the railing, and I just nicked him with like the tip of my middle finger, like reached over and like touched his bicep. I'm pretty sure he's the first wrestler I've ever felt.
And how Luger took advantage of him. And so if they want to prove it, let's get them things off them and get this bell rung and get this thing on right here. There's a face of frustration right there. Sure it is.
Face of frustration. Sting didn't even redo his paint. So Luger's being a pain in the ass here. More like bitch in the USA, Lex Luger. Luger won't get in the ring, count him out. Yeah, Luger had the run in the Dungeon of Doom. Everything was very weird in 96 here prior to the NWO. That's why I always call out Bischoff for his bullshit when he's like, when he retells the rise of WCW, how he wanted his storylines to be more realistic. I'm like, bullshit, no you didn't. None of this shit was any more realistic than WWE. None of that stuff happened until the NWO got there, and Hall and Nash just kind of naturally made it cool. So that wasn't your idea. It happened. It just happened because Nash and Hall are cool dudes, and they made the product cool. But prior to that, you had goofy gimmicks just like WWE did. Their gimmicks and storylines were no more adult-oriented than WWE's. He's full of shit. Like, it was his big vision. I want to have more adult-oriented storylines. No, you don't. Dungeon of Doom is stupid. The Booty Man is stupid. You do not have a better product in that regard. That didn't happen until the NWO got going. And then it became a little bit more of the cooler promotion.
The Road Warriors are prepared as never before. Drop kick by Hawk. He got up high on that one. Sting caught the brunt of it. Yeah, he caught him in that chest there, right in them ribs, and took the wind out of him. And then he stumped him right there where he caught him with that drop kick. And them are strategic moves, Tone.
Them are strategic moves, Tone.
In big battle. I don't think anyone in the world is surprised that Sting had to start this match. Now Hawk circling the ring. Sting.
But Bischoff usually tells that story as it relates to the start of Nitro. How he's like, you know, we wanted to be on prime time. WWE was taped. We want to be live. Their storylines are very cartoony. We want to be more adult-oriented. And none of that happened in the early days of Nitro. It took about 8 or 9 months for the NWO to form. Maybe longer than that, damn near a year, for the NWO to form and get rolling on TV to where Hall and Nash were very cool characters.
He made a bad situation into a positive one. I'm talking about Hawk.
I think once that Nitro happened where they attacked everybody at Disney and Ray got lawn darted through the trailer and all that, that's when they started venturing into, you know, blurring the lines of kayfabe and heels and faces and things like that. So it took a while for that to happen.
Sting bent ways he won't go. And you know, the Road Warriors, known as brawlers, as fighters, they have been content with wrestling Sting here. How about that? Yeah, they understand the situation of going ahead and doing what needs to be done. If it's brawling, do the brawling. If
What's up, Victor?
do the wrestling.
What's your vector, Victor? Roger, Roger.
They have held the World Tag Team title. They know how to wrestle and how to brawl. Right here, you're going to see a situation right there. Got him in their corner. Got a good tag. They going about their business as Luger is just hanging out in the other corner.
Yeah, Luger's being a little asshole here.
Made his way
people who are made in the USA aren't this big of bitches. I don't know what Luger. He must not have been made here.
I think they may, just an observation here,
Must not be USA.
differently when Luger gets in. Because that's where the heat is.
Well, they got to approach it in a way to win the title.
I mean, the Road Warriors and Luger and Sting, they just go so far back. This is the last match. Sting, Luger, and Harlem Heat felt more like WCW. This feels more like NWA, and I love that.
You know, and they can't look at it like, oh, I'm mad at Sting, but I'm not mad at Luger. They've got to wrestle them together as a unit. You know that. Boy, I'm going to tell you what.
You're sharp tonight.
You're sharp
I'm on
as a
tonight.
tack.
Holy moly.
Brian Dempsey, true, with the exception of The Undertaker. He was cartoony as all fuck.
Luger is the legal man in.
But, yeah, Brett and Shawn, they were colorful, but the dumb gimmicks, the Dean Douglases, that type of stuff, you're right. They were mid-card.
Yes.
Duke Drosy.
Animal licking his chops now.
Yeah, but he don't want to get in there, Tony. He don't
Glad Mantar never main evented a WrestleMania, that's for sure.
but he's cagey back in there. You don't want to get him too close in there to where he can time up and make a mistake.
That's right. And Luger getting the first blow in. And those blows are rocking the head of this 300-plus pound giant of a man. Animal. Animal puts the brakes on. Sends Luger into corner. And right to the face by Road Warrior Animal.
Crowd is kind of not reacting to this, but they finally did get Luger in the ring, and they're putting a hurting on him.
Could be it right here.
1, 2, and no, Brain. The answer is no. And they put on an armbar here.
Oh, man.
Yeah, at this time in '96, Tupac was still here, and California Love was the biggest song.
Was almost
I have a little Good Mic Work bumper that I use for some of my videos now that's kind of in the style of California Love. That's why I like it.
tag team wrestling. And there's Hawk with a close.
And I live in California.
But you got to give Luger a lot of credit, even after Animal
Yeah, '96 was an interesting year, coming of age year for me. I didn't know what I was doing yet, but I was starting to figure it out.
The bird takes flight and mashes Luger into the corner.
Made a couple mistakes.
Down to the bottom.
They're doing what they have to do. They finally got it saying that, okay, now we got them both in here. Let's get our game plan, react to that situation, and go ahead and win these World Tag Team titles because they do hold the upper hand right now.
I mean, I was 18 years old when the show aired. Already living on my own.
Won't stoop to anything to win this match. They will do anything.
We have already had 2 title matches here tonight. Make it 3. No titles have changed hands as of yet. We have this one and, of course, the World Heavyweight Championship in a cage. Don't look at me, Jim. I'm not paying attention to Brain anymore.
Yeah, but I
Let
would
him talk.
yeah, in a situation with titles is that this thing right here. Sometimes when you're warm, I said
Wade, shut up. I want to forget about Abe Knuckleball Schwartz and the Goon, and you're telling me to never forget? Now you've reminded me. I was so close to having them permanently deleted,
already being in the heat of battle.
and you've resurrected them from the recycle bin. Asshole.
Low road he took at the beginning of the match.
They looking good now. Good tag between the two.
Yeah, they're looking. I tell you, if they can
Fucking Bill Irwin.
work as a unit, they're the best. I mean, they are the champs. Over the top.
Oh.
Said, if they can focus, they'll be the champs. They are. There's a 2 count, and they've had their problems. It was on Saturday night, as we said. Here's another cup, the 1 count, as we said before, and it happened just this past Saturday before they went to the ring in the locker room. Sting said, "Here, if you can do it like this, take the belt, leave me alone."
You know what, Bobby? You know, but you can smell. Not taking away from this match, but you can smell the anticipation
You can smell the anticipation.
that is getting ready to drop here for a while.
I don't know if I want to smell anticipation.
Injured, if you will. Take a look. There's a cage right up there. You see it up there high in the arena. Right there, going to drop as Hulkamania with that bad eye, with that big heart that all the Hulkamanias watching steps in there against the Giants and then for Ric Flair. Hooks it up with the Macho Man Randy Savage. Got him! Whoa!
That was unintentional, but boy, was it effective.
What was unintentional?
That headbutt. He hit the ropes and he fell forward, and just so happened he hit.
Low blow. Caught him again. Luger wants him
Oh,
down.
yeah, Luger. Eyes ablaze, and Luger. Boy, is he an opportunistic wrestler or what? You run him
Yeah, we got the September 96, we got the debut of Glacier, but I bet we've already had the vignettes going for months. The first Glacier vignette aired when I was 3, and he debuted when I was 19. Crazy. That's a real fact.
In a position to take the wind out of him right there in your belly button where it started hurting and stuff. And that's what he's doing, kicking him in that belly.
He's kicking him in that belly. God, I love Dusty.
Good to have you with us wherever you are across the United States, Canada, or overseas, watching our telecasts, maybe in Mexico, on pay-per-view. It's been a wild one.
It's going to get wilder tomorrow night at Nitro.
Yeah, it's going to get wilder here in a few moments. They lower the cage. Now, Sting in with Animal.
Yeah, Mike, you're younger. You're a little younger than me. I graduated in 95. Class of 95.
Yeah, momentum switch now. They got
Have you seen the movie Just Friends? I graduated with them.
Sting
Me and Ryan Reynolds.
thrown. Sting is going up top. The man
And Amy Smart.
as we've seen before. Look,
Oh,
over he goes with the knees.
shout out to Amy Smart.
Too much time.
One of my all-time faves.
Boy, he's in a lot of pain, Bobby.
Wherever you are, Amy, I love you.
He got the tag, though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Hawk's in there.
Hey, buddy, did he ever? And look at Hawk. Hawk met him at the turnstile. Sends him in. Runs right through.
How can these guys even wrestle in this tiny ass 18 by 18 ring here? I just don't get it.
Leg drop. Standing position.
Did WCW not factor in their freight costs?
That didn't work. And again,
Got to factor in them freight costs, man.
you know,
Can't be forgetting those.
where the big boys play. This is not where the big boys play. This is where the big boys knock the punch each
This is where the big boys play with each other.
And, you know, so much punishment has been dished out back and forth in this thing. You throw everything else out the window that happened prior to this with these two teams right here. And this thing could go either way. I mean, it's right there. It's hinging in the balance. It's hanging in the balance. The outcome is hinging in the balance.
Dusty. If hinging in the balance. All right, bro.
which is probably what you call engine in the balance frame. What do you say?
Got it.
Sleeper. Got the sleeper. Hold on. Jawbreaker. And he made the tag to Sting. It was a wise tag by Luger. And Sting is in.
Neither team has really gotten the opportunity to wear the other team down.
you're right.
They've been doing a lot of tags in and out. And neither one of these teams.
No, this ring right here is the same size as the one in Australia.
Here comes Sting. Right into your living room.
And out your kitchen door.
Sting.
WWE was always 20 by 20, and WCW was 18 by 18, and that's what they used at Grand Slam.
And he's not going to stand for it because that would have ended the match. What was Luger doing right there? Well, he was a little late, wasn't he?
Boy, I'm telling you, what was he doing? He was still shaking the cobwebs loose.
I have no idea, but as a result, Sting is being, as Dusty would say,
Well, yeah, of course. I don't think it matters what he said in the past. If there's a chance to complain about the company you're obsessed with, then they're going to take it. We talked about it on the podcast yesterday. I put up a short about it today. You know, I could not believe how much, like, 2 days spent on that. Fans, like, arguing about, like, ring sizes. I'm like, dude, WCW, TNA, Ring of Honor, ECW, all use the same size ring that was on Grand Slam. Will Ospreay, great wrestler, kind of a guy who knows what he's doing in there, tweeted out that he loved the ring. But yet, asshat, bunch of numbers with Oreo crumbs and chocolate all over his face is going to have something to say about the ring size. F off.
He gets cut off.
Sting, if you remember, he rolls up hard. One. Sting was willing, if you recall. Oh, boy. That's as big.
Mowed him down. Mowed Sting down.
Sting was willing, more than willing, to give these guys a title shot. He has no ill will towards the Road Warriors. This is just competition. And this Bayfront Center has seen some historic matches. They've seen some wild events here tonight, and they're still going to see two.
Yeah, I think the bad faith people online were trying to say that it was a 16 by 16 ring. It wasn't. You would be able to tell. Trust me. You would be like, holy shit, that's tiny. It's the exact same ring that we're watching right now. And I am personally a fan of the 20 by 20. I didn't like WCW for that reason. I thought they were a little bit too confined. I like having the extra space in WWE's ring. So I did like a 20 by 20 ring. But 18 by 18 is very standard, and most all independent companies use it. I don't think there's any indies out there using a 20 by 20. It's all going to be this size. And then the super small ones, super rinky-dink outfits, then that's where you're going to find your 16, you know, and smaller. But any respectable indie promotion is going to be using this.
These four men are just beating each other up.
Well, they know what's at stake. The prestige tag team title right here at WCW where the big boss played, right, Bob? And there's also a lot
Right, Bob?
Oh my goodness. Sometimes my job, I don't know.
Whoa! Hey, he hooked it right up.
Yeah, he sure did. He bounced right back up into the midsection.
Exactly. A ring is a damn ring. You wouldn't have known that, though, from watching the IWC drool all over themselves for 48 hours over it. I'm like, is this what we're doing? It's the weekend.
Sting come right back up at him, too. I don't know if that was a legal tag. No, it was not a legal tag.
I'm not so sure that Nick Patrick's allowing it.
Double elbow. I don't know. Yeah, I have no clue who's legal.
Some type of order here, but
I think order has gone out the window here.
we've seen that happen tonight on numerous occasions.
Look, Sting is down and they want to beat on Luger.
Well, look at trying to get away right here.
Well, the Road Warriors got to realize they got to beat the legal man. They've got to win the match in the ring.
Well, he punched him good right there on that steps when you get up there, but Sting is really, really weak, guys.
Yeah, he really is.
I can see it in his eyes.
Hawk fighting Sting and Luger and Animal going at it.
This is going to be a count out. Patrick's counting. None of these guys are near the ring. Yeah, there's the bell. So after all that,
They've thrown this one out, and this World Tag Team title scenario will continue somewhere else between these four men. Luger, look at him, double teaming Luger, leaving Sting alone. I told you, it's Luger they want.
Here comes Sting, though. Oh, I tell you what.
Tag team player.
He sure is, Brian. Good point.
Yeah, we're right back here in the back again, boy. We've been back here tonight before.
We've had a lot of everything here. We have not had the official word yet from David Pinter. Hopefully we'll get that here in just a moment.
jeez, they are all over that pyro area. I miss the long curtain. I miss it.
All right, now let's go now back to me.
Kind of wish like AEW would bring it back or something just for fun.
Count out here on SuperBrawl.
We're on the way to the beach.
Very difficult for us to comprehend back here what's going on. Total chaos
Look at Woman.
in the arena.
You know what's going on.
Yes, I know what's going on. Ric Flair, that
We're going to have Woman and Miss Elizabeth involved in this match. That's
involving this man.
pretty awesome.
Against the Macho Man in a cage will not be thrown out.
Mr. Okerlund, what woman wants, woman gets.
Nature Boy.
Don't you get it? Hogan's master plot has failed again. A little while ago, a very feeble attempt was made at turning the Taskmaster against Arn Anderson. Raw. It didn't work, Hogan. No chemistry.
Oh no, is the Taskmaster Master and Arn Anderson going to break up? Don't care, really.
Get dark. Woman and Nature Boy walk side by side. Walk into the cage. That hit the
Woman is amazingly gorgeous. She's no Elizabeth to me, but because Elizabeth just holds a special place in my heart. But Woman is something else. She's awesome.
got a fire's mouth. He say, Liz, oh, this ain't right. I got a face flare. And tonight, I'm gonna bleed. I'm gonna sweat. And Flair might take you home.
Yeah, is this going to be where Liz turns? Because I know she turns. Liz goes heel, which was just wild to me.
Tonight,
I had trouble accepting Randy Savage and Elizabeth in WCW. So watching them do things like turn her heel and stuff was just, I was just struggling with it, man. I couldn't watch it. I mean, it bothered me that much.
Ask Mr. Flair, will there be a little ride on Space Mountain?
well, think about it.
I'm like, they shouldn't be there. They should be here.
Woman on my left. And Liz on my right. But I won't tell anybody who I'll be with tonight. Woo!
Jesus.
Thank you, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Woman, I thank you
Woman.
very much. Lovely indeed. Gentlemen, let's get back to you.
Gene, God.
We've known Ric Flair for many, many years, all three of us. I've never seen him as pumped up as he is right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. He is pumped in a situation, but also he could be
Dusty, I'm loving your jeans, by the way.
as a loose cannon. Also in this
Love them jeans, Dusty.
title for the 13th time. He's got to really be focused.
What can be going through Savage's mind? He's got that bad arm. I saw them wrapping him up earlier. He's got a bad leg. They were working on that part of it. You know his back's hurt. Now
he's got to get into a cage with a man like Ric Flair. Savage, you had a good run, but it's over.
As the cage lowers.
Ryan Adams, appreciate that. Very generous $20. You see the news on the I did see this on the trademark Kalex that WWE had applied for, which is Sol Ruka's real name. It apparently was for ref Jessica Carr, who wrestled under a mask for Evolve. Carr used to wrestle on the Indies. Yeah, I did see that today.
It's been surprises. It's been incredible.
I like Jessica.
Here tonight at SuperBrawl. But you're talking about incredible. How about our next event? The second annual Uncensored coming your way.
Look at the WCW has got the word every time they do this. Look at this. We watched a pay-per-view not long ago where the cage was coming down all sideways. I'm like, God, the thing looks like it's gonna fall. WCW Uncensored. That's when, like, you know, Bischoff and everybody, you know, they nitpick like the AEW product about how it looks like underdeveloped or it's, you know, like mud show looking. Well, look at this. Look at your sideways ass cage coming down. You can't be throwing shade. Oh, there's Elizabeth. I just used this for our thumbnail because it's Savage and Liz and Mean Gene, so what's not to like? What a hottie Elizabeth is. My God. She was hotter at this age than she was in her 20s, in my mind. In my opinion. I love the blue and gold, or the blue and yellow. Or fluorescent green, whatever that is. What year was the crazy match with like Hogan and Savage versus 20 guys? Was it the upcoming Uncensored? Or was it the 95 one? The Mega Powers, we are cool.
We were bonded before, but we are really tight now. Am I right, Elizabeth? On our way to the ring right now. I can't talk to you anymore. You do your thing.
I would take Elizabeth out for a chicken dinner.
Is what it is, and I'm the WCW
I would.
heavyweight champion, and I'm gonna beat up the next.
All you can eat chicken.
I'm telling you what, gentlemen, these two men, I just talked to them here in the last 5
Okay, it's the upcoming one. It wasn't the previous year. And they brought everybody in for that. Zeus and shit, right?
fine racer's edge. These two guys are absolutely, as Dusty Rhodes and Bobby Heenan said, they are pumped sky high. Get ready for virtually anything.
I wonder if Gene said Razor's Edge on purpose.
In the ring inside a steel cage. I'd like to go back to you, throw it back to you, Tony, Bobby, and Dusty, for your assessment. These are very unusual and very special circumstances.
Yeah, Bischoff is a walking human version of Fox News. He actively accuses somebody or something of doing things that he has always done. And it's just, or have done worse. Just project. He's just, I mean, there have been a lot of embarrassing moments that have happened on WCW TV under Bischoff's watch.
Well, of course I'd agree with that. But Savage has to be a man who's totally lost. Ric Flair wants to go out there and for the 13th time lead this building as a heavyweight champion of the world and style and profile all over the Bay Area. What are you going to do about that, Savage? This man wants your hide.
This man wants your hide.
Elizabeth, Hulk Hogan is your buddy. All your friends are going to help you. You're getting in that cage. They lowered it down. There's a top on it. You're in the fight of your life.
There's a top on this cage?
Have a new champion. Want to remind you,
It's a little mini Hell in a Cell? There's a heck in a cell?
seen a WCW cage match. Get ready. It's the grudge match at its height, and it's for the world heavyweight title. With that, we go now to Michael Buffer.
No, Buffer's here. There's no top on it. What are you talking about, Heenan? Or is there? There's no top on it.
here at ringside in St. Petersburg, Florida, and the millions watching around the world on television. This
I always thought Michael Buffer looked like Vince McMahon.
we've all been waiting for. A double cage
Yep. About a month away from Dynamite having a longer run than Nitro. And Bischoff and people like him will butt the fuck out of that. But doesn't matter. It's lasted longer than you did. Nothing else matters. Yeah, but no. There's no but. There's no but. They lasted longer than you. Shut up. Yeah, but no. You don't understand. There's no but. Here comes. Here comes Flair and Woman, color coordinated, much like Savage and Liz are. I like it. It's purple versus blue. I think Savage and Liz look better. And Woman. Why didn't we get a wrestling manager named Man? If we had a woman, why didn't we get a man? Who would have been good for that? Maybe Raven. When he was Johnny Polo, he could have just been Man. He's stomping on a Hogan thing. So what's the trajectory of the belt here in this year? Flair, I think, wins it here. And then I know when Hogan wins it later on in the year with the NWO, he beats the Giant. So maybe the Giant beats Flair for it after this. Is that what happens? Does it pass anybody else's hands before it gets to that? Hey, when's the Happy Gilmore movie come out? Is it out yet? And now, making his entrance to the cage. No shit. I didn't like this version of Savage's theme. I like the WWE version. His manager, an ex-lover. The fact that they were working together as two divorced people is just also wild to me. It's okay, we're friends. It's water under the bridge. I used to be obsessed with her, locked her in a closet. Now I don't care, all of a sudden. She's so hot. Jesus. Miss Elizabeth. Savage with that big gold belt. Tough for Greg to swallow at this time. Can't lie. Yeah, WWE doesn't really have to convince Bischoff, though. Bischoff's very, insecure. He's seeing somebody else on TNT as a competitor to WWE, just like he was. And he's, of course, comparing himself to that success and doing everything he can to make sure that everybody remembers that he's better. He's wrestling special boy. And he doesn't like it that if Tony Khan sees any success. It's so easy to spot. It's just funny. It's so transparent. He's so determined to convince himself and everybody else that AEW is some inferior mud show bullshit when he knows it isn't. I love that Hogan #1 sign right there.
The Macho Man Randy Savage, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, for the WCW World Heavyweight title as always, where the world title bout, it'll be...
Has Flair had the world title since Hogan came in? Will this be his first time winning it since losing it at Bash at the Beach in '94? Because then Hogan held it for like a year or something, right? Yeah, and then Savage, I think, yeah, so this will probably be Flair's first time.
As soon as they close that door, it's going to be bedlam. For the World Heavyweight title, Flair playing some mind games here, Drew. Yeah, you made that point.
Okay, so I'm right about that. Flair drops a Giant, and then Giant to Hogan. Okay, so there's not an extra champion in there somewhere.
To start on his own terms. The Macho Man doesn't want any part of that. And Nature Boy would
Elizabeth, she's out of the cage now, right? Elizabeth.
Before I gotta hurt him real bad. Send him home in a basket, baby.
Send him home in a basket.
One last chance. Walk over here and kiss a real man, baby.
He's talking to Elizabeth. Yeah. But that's more important things at hand here.
She's like, nope, you already forced a kiss on me at WrestleMania 8
Elizabeth to the winners go to Spall.
4 years ago.
The lady. Make no mistake about it.
Does that mean no?
Yeah, that means
Oh, Flair won it in Starrcade. Okay, so he just won it and then dropped it back. Okay, so they were a hot potato in a little bit. So Savage was what, a 2-time champion already by this point? Wow.
powers again. Boy, they ain't a blemish on her face.
There ain't a blemish on her face. I agree with you, Dusty.
Looks like Ronald McDonald.
So does Rob Van Dam.
Can you imagine with Woman, Elizabeth, Diamond Dog, Kimberly, Medusa? My goodness. Yeah, we need to close this door and get on with this thing.
Close this dough and get on with this thing. I agree.
He is pushing his buttons, is what he's doing. He's making Savage wait. Savage doesn't want to wait. Savage wants to fight. Savage is up on that top rope. He wants him to come in that door. Look at him. He don't know what to make of this. Flair's playing with him.
The Macho Man
I didn't really like Savage with the dyed dark hair. I liked it with the brown a little more. But I think he was just trying to do whatever he could to
22nd of the month.
manage that bald spot.
Live from Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, his second title reign. Two men, though, it's more than just the world title. It goes back last year to Slamboree in this very arena, in this very building, when Angelo Poffo, father of the Macho Man Randy Savage, had been inducted to the Hall of Fame, trying to pull Flair off of Macho Man, and then the elder Poffo was hammered by Flair. Macho Man never forgot about it. Chased Flair out into the street later on in a world title match in the limo.
It was a devastating night.
Oh, yeah, I remember that Angelo Poffo stuff.
Guarantee you that's going through his mind right now. As finally this
I mean, Savage and Flair rekindling like a hateful rivalry here in WCW is kind of cool because theirs was built around a lot of heat. They did a good job doing that quickly in 1992 when they kind of pivoted and switched the match to these two guys, and then they did a whole Elizabeth angle, and the match just had a lot of like emotion and stuff. Lateral press.
Yeah, but you know the situation we've been waiting for all night is now unfolding right here at SuperBrawl as that cage is being locked finally, and they are hooked up in that corner over there like two pit bulls.
Yeah, I'm sure Savage was sensitive about his hair, but there's no reason to be. Hopefully he dealt with it. I think LeBron is sensitive about his too. I probably would have been sensitive about mine if I didn't look right with a bald head. But luckily, when I first crew cut it, I'm like, okay, this will work. I don't look too weird. But if I would have, insisted on having hair, I would have struggled. People have been looking at it and stuff and how weird it looks. And I'm glad I don't have any. Hair sucks. Oh, Savage with the nice cage bump there, hanging upside down. Yeah, somebody mentioned earlier, like WCW should have had their version of the blue bar, but they were always lowering their shit down. They were lowering theirs from the ceiling before WWE ever did, and it was always so janky. Oh, and Flair just took out the ref. Mucho bucks. Backslide, nope. No ref. Flair knocked out the referee. Jeez. Yeah, the referee is back up counting and stuff, but I guess, it's no DQ. But I think even in a no DQ match, that shouldn't mean you can kill the referee. Like, there should be a penalty for that. Like, there's no DQ unless you beat up the referee on purpose, then you're DQ'd. And probably suspended and arrested.
And that is the situation of where the Horsemen are. Now, where are they? Now, the only way I figure they can get in if they drop from the ceiling.
If they drop from the ceiling. Dusty's got Horsemen dropping in from the ceiling.
We've seen Arn Anderson, and then we see Pillman. Oh, and first goes Savage. We saw Pillman do what he did. I think that the Horsemen have a lot more problems than just Flair to cage.
Yeah, Savage wouldn't have looked right bald.
Sit down like a big businessman at a big business meeting with the Horsemen and say, this is what we're going to do to bring this thing back home for the 13th time. And right now, the Macho Man Randy Savage is on the receiving end of the Nature Boy's Ric Flair's fury.
I think Lanny had thicker hair. It sucks that Savage didn't get that.
WCW for less than 2 years and already has held the World Championship twice. He's already had his body rattled by the Giant. He's already had Flair do a number on him. He's had Luger do a number on him. And he's still heavyweight champion of the world. Now he's in a cage with that man, Ric Flair. Things don't look good for Mr. Savage. You can have 150 Elizabeths at ringside.
150 Elizabeths. Nice. I'll take that. What religion do you get the virgins or whatever when you die? So stupid. What if one religion you get 150 Elizabeths? I'll worship whatever god that religion is.
The hardest hitter in the sport, Ric Flair. You can hear it, you can feel it, and you know the Macho Man does. I think of the great cage matches Flair's had. I think of the match he had against Hulk Hogan in Detroit back.
I do prefer the mesh cage, though, in the NWA and WCW. It just fits them better.
Here's the whip into the far side. Missed the elbow.
I'm glad that Tully and Magnum wasn't in a blue bar cage, Like, there is something to be said for the mesh.
Around in the ring, trying to get up.
Yeah, and Flair never gets in a hurry once he gets in a situation like this. When he goes ahead and sticks to what he's doing and gets him Xing the nose cross and he knows what he's doing, there's no hurry about it.
What they need to do is get a cage like this, and we've seen the red cell. They need to maybe paint it black. I think you'd be able to, like, see through it a little bit better. It would be less of an obstruction. It might look pixely, though.
They got to have a lot of things going for it. Determination, but a tremendous amount of talent as well. And you're seeing two of the most talented men this sport's ever seen.
Victor, no, I don't really care about WWE LFG. I don't like those type of shows. Never have. So I probably won't watch it. I never even watched Tough Enough. I was just not interested in that stuff. I don't like any show where somebody has to be judged by a few assholes. I don't like it.
And regain that title. Second time.
But luckily with social media and everything, it's hard for me to avoid not seeing highlights from the show. So I'll get a general idea of what the show's like, but I don't think I'm going to watch it. Oh, figure four on Flair. In the middle of the cage. Woman is screaming out there. Stop screaming, woman.
They want it to end right now as Randy Savage looks towards woman on the far side of the cage. She's screaming and Flair cannot move it. He may be able to turn it over here, but no. 1, 2 again. Wake up.
I would tell you what, that was awful close right there.
Flair beat Randy Savage with the figure four in a pin like that.
Taking a lot of pain on the Nature Boy Ric Flair's leg. Usually him in that position, dishing the pain out. And the Macho Man now has turned this situation into his favor.
Well, you're right. This is good for the Macho Man because he's taken away one of the offensive weapons of Flair. Flair's legs are going to be weak, and Flair's legs are going to be hurting.
Woman is out there like Sherry, just WCW had it going on in the women department, and that back in the day, that's for sure. I mean, they had Woman, Liz, Sherry, and Medusa, right? They were all there.
Flair's taking a lot of punishment on that knee, I guarantee it. That will really, really help the Macho Man right here. If he
Kicked him in the head.
Right in the mush.
How about that? He popped right out of the figure four and give Flair a lot of credit. How many men can stay in a figure four that long? Not many, Dream.
Boy, he caught him across the bridge of the nose with that chop right there, too.
Blocked. Right hand. Down goes Flair. Savage covers it up.
He got two.
Oh, that's close again.
Boy, they're dealing on each other.
You could have got a paint job
And
in that count.
this is the first of the two cages right here. We know Hulkamania waiting in the wings.
Juliet, tomorrow is up in the air for Raw. I'm not sure. I wasn't planning on doing one because I have to go back to the doctor again for more blood stuff. And I had a few other things going on, so I wasn't sure. But I might be able to still do one. I'm going to look at everything tonight and decide. But I was thinking I was going to be up later in the week anyway to do some Elimination Chamber predictions. So I was thinking I might skip the watch along tomorrow. We'll recap Raw maybe on Tuesday or whenever I decide to do that. Both of you easy.
Prone. Flair goes after him here. This is what it's all about, fans. This is why you take high risk. This is why you give it your all for the World Heavyweight Championship that Flair desperately wants for a 13th time in his career. And he's got Savage up. One of the patented Flair moves to hold you high. Suplex.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you what took it out of him. As Bobby said, when the Macho Man went up and made what we call a mistake, but you gotta risk it. You gotta go for it. You gotta go for it and get yourself,
I can't believe this referee is not holding a grudge against Ric Flair for decking him earlier.
Here we go, a third in a row, and no, sir. Boy, I tell you, you got to give him credit. Flair is trying to win the match now.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he can try to punish him some more, put him up against the cage, but he's trying to win
And
it.
he's got him in a situation to win it. And that's what's important when I say about putting somebody away when you go for a major title right here in WCW.
And you know that cage is so dangerous. There's so much
Woman is praying, literally.
all over that cage that just sticks and rips into your flesh.
That's right.
It's a horrible match.
You've been in a brain, I know. So have you, Dusty.
Oh, Savage. Nice sell. Hanging himself up on the ropes.
It's stuck right into the steel cage. The Macho Man draped on the top rope, helpless at the hands of the challenger here. Leah's trying to encourage him.
It appears to me as if Flair knows he has him. Because Flair hasn't really gone in for the kill yet.
No, he's tried to pin him. I beg to differ with you. He's tried to pin him, Bobby. But Flair, this is his mode of referendum when he gets you in a
Flair's elbows weren't really elbows. He's basically landing on the side of your face with the side of his body. And his elbow lands on the mat.
The figure four leg lock, and he has it on.
Oh, and there's the figure four.
Now, once
That's about as good a positioning as you can ask for on a figure four. And there's Flair using his leverage. Stupid ass referee.
got the leverage. Can Savage hold out as long as Flair did moments ago here in the cage? Only time will tell here. Oh, but competition, one-on-one, or two against.
If we're litigating tough enough history, I ain't gonna have a damn clue.
This is why we are tough. It's because of what we have in the ring. Why we're number
72 virgins. Very interesting number. Why that many?
Flair got him locked in that figure four. He's not going to let go.
Savage was strung out there in a situation, Tony and Bob, where he had a hold of that bottom of the rail, bottom of the iron of the cage right there.
Randy Eller pulling Flair off.
And plus 72 virgins would be awfully boring. Christ. Give me somebody who knows what they're doing.
On Savage now, and Savage hooking that bottom rope.
I never allow a woman to yell at me.
I'm sure you don't.
He continued to work on that on what Bobby Heenan had talked about, where he's got him in a position to beat him, trying to hook it in again.
Again, oh, there's the WrestleMania 8 finish.
Did not get it. Oh, that was
Or close to it.
That's how quickly things can
The
change.
match is hurt. The match is hurt.
The match is hurt.
Macho Man in this match. He's made some effort to fight back, but he's never really had control of the situation. He's lucky to be in there. He's lucky to still be in there.
That chop by Flair.
Dusty Rhodes also has a WrestleMania match against Macho Man.
Boy, he's firing back on him, though. He's really giving it a try. There you go.
Flair goes head first.
There you go. There you go.
Is Flair gonna start? I'm surprised it's a cage match and we're deep into it here and Flair's not bleeding.
things straight for about a week after this.
Oh, man. Flair's definitely bleeding now. Yeah, Zane, I'm going to see how I feel tomorrow, too. I might wake up feeling worse than I do now, but I feel all right.
It's two completely different styles. Woman has been screaming. Elizabeth has just been calm, ladylike.
She's steady,
encouraging the Macho Man.
She's steady in what she's seeing right here.
That's right.
And the Macho Man is really taking heat on this. Where Bobby made a good point, where there wasn't a lot of offense by him, just a lot of fight back.
Oh, Flair.
This thing around. Now he's turning around.
Flair ahead goes hard in the cage. Oh my
I believe he's got him lacerated right
He's lacerated, all right. He's definitely lacerated.
Continue on it. Pound it.
And the Macho Man giving it all he's got.
You better get the meat wagon.
Get the meat wagon.
And the Macho Man is going for it. Look at him. He's looking at the forehead, measuring where he got cut on the forehead.
Damn. Yeah, you're probably right about that. Middle school, damn.
Would get down in a situation where he couldn't see. But right here, they both look like they kicked it like Fandango.
Oh, it was last call for Ric Flair, face first.
Get up, though. He's getting to his feet. He's going upstairs to the third floor. He is leaving.
Oh, yeah, Bash at the Beach 95. That's right, as seen on Baywatch.
Flair trying.
I'll tell you what, he's shining on one end.
Can you escape? Oh, full. Oh, God, that's too much. That is too much. Oh, and he crotched himself with his bare ass showing. That's lovely.
This place has gone crazy.
Oh, Flair, just barely. No, the ref. Oh, my God, the bell rang.
We are where the big boys play, my friend. We got a lot more of Ric Flair to see.
Savage throwing haymakers. Dumbass ring timekeeper rang the bell. Oh,
I'm going to remember this night for a long time.
Wow. Man, I've seen Flair happy, but I've never seen him grin like that.
Wow, here he goes. Flair stalking Savage. I guess that's what he's doing.
yeah, I don't know what Flair's doing.
Flair and a chokehold.
Well, what a grueling confrontation, and we have seen it all. Man, but I will go back to that point. The Nature Boy seems to be in control of the situation.
He does.
He is definitely in control. Now he's gonna depart.
I have no idea what he's trying to do here.
He's trying to get up to the top.
Oh, again with this?
Here's a little something for you. Well, take another picture.
Flight attendants get the front, pay-per-view audience gets the back. That's so nice of Ric Flair to share.
Very rarely am I speechless, but I am.
Somebody call the law.
Somebody called a law.
I hope Lois ain't watching this.
Oh,
Tony, you got to get yourself back in this situation here.
pull your pants up.
You got to get back in this situation here. Again,
It's 2 times we had that. An eye full.
Flair, shake the cobwebs loose. Get up. He's young.
Of the full Nature Boy.
He tries. Is he going to make a cover here or not?
now I don't know cover what. I'm going to tell you what.
There was a kid in school, in high school. Oh, he was a special needs kid, a few grades below me, and he was, I don't think he was fully blind, but he was definitely legally blind because he had the walking stick and stuff. And he had a backpack that he would wear every day, and on the back it was embroidered and it said Nature Boy. And it wasn't like a Ric Flair bag. He had never wore wrestling shirts or anything like that. It just said Nature Boy on the back. And the kids used to give him, like, he got bullied to no end. And I always liked, his name was Brian, and I would talk to him, every now and then in the hallway and stuff. And I never knew why he had Nature Boy on it, but the kids used to like ridicule, oh, here comes Nature Boy. But I think he meant it, but not in a way that was tributing Ric Flair. I'm not even sure if the kid knew who Ric Flair was. He just had Nature Boy on the back of his backpack.
Conditioning won't win out this one. It's luck. Who's ever the luckiest.
No, you're right.
Poor guy, just bullied unmercifully. It was just Kids suck.
It's who's the stayer, who's going to stay in there the longest and fight back the longest and the hardest. Where you got to reach down inside of you in a situation like this and either retain that title or take that title. What do we got here? Oh no, that's woman right there.
A woman's got another high. Oh no, she's got a flash paper. Or no, powder. Okay. Not a. She missed. It's rat poison. It's anthrax. Look at Liz. What's she doing? What are you doing, Liz? Oh no, is Flair gonna roll through and nail? I love how the referee is not looking. Boom. Shoe to the face. And Elizabeth turns. Look at her. She's like, give me my shoe back. And she's got the shoe back on. That's right, because I remember when Flair had both of them. Woman and Liz. Hulk Hogan's coming out. He's going to be pissed at Liz. It's okay, Hogan. Elizabeth will be in the NWO with you later. Yeah, you got matchup. You're up next. Oh, I love that Arn is back in his outfit. Elizabeth turning heel. It's okay. She's still the best. I like how the wrestlers always mime what the bad guys did to the referee. You can just tell him. He's sitting right next to you. Jesus. Same shorts. Put the shirt back on. Hilarious. It's a run Arn. Hey, they should have. Arn should have coined that. He ducks. Who misses powder? Fuji, I guess, for one. They would talk about that high heel shoe in the Billionaire Ted skits. The shoe became a theme, I think, on Nitro. They were using the shoe. Watch for the shoe. You really had to in 1996 Nitro.
This is brutally planned, my friends. And I guarantee you one thing. Gutty in the eye, the Macho Man with one eye, and we got one of them.
Hogan with one eye, Macho Man with one eye. Between the two of them, they just got two eyes. Oh, hilarious.
Hogan's only got one eye, the way it looks to me.
We were hoping to talk to Hulk Hogan with Mean Gene Oakland, and we're going to try to get him in the locker room. Trying to fill until we get him back to the locker room.
WCW's no blood policy. I don't know. I always remember Flair bleeding in every year. But maybe Flair's an exception. I don't know. I mean, Flair went against WWE's blood policy in '92 and got fined for it.
Flair just came into this confidence. Yeah, I knew that he was going to do it. I knew he put his mind to it.
Yeah, Mike, that was the stupid part. Flair shielded everything from the referee, the same referee that he literally beat up earlier, and now he's like making sure the ref doesn't see the shoe. Like, this is stupid. Like, if that logic was used in an AEW cage match, Bischoff would be frothing at the mouth on social media.
Some questions
But yeah, he's back there running it all.
I have never seen the amount of gamesmanship, if you will, back and forth, and what has happened here now with the Nature Boy Ric Flair becoming World Heavyweight Champion again for the 13th time, right?
13th time, baby. He wins 3 more? Jesus.
What about this? Well, I think it conclusively once again proves that Ric Flair is the dirtiest player in the game today. And here's one man I know that's not going to disagree with me on that subject.
Oh, hello, Hulk Hogan, in your patch. I would not want that thing on my eye. Unless that's a legit injury. I don't think it is.
Back up 4 years ago when they separated man legally. Maybe it goes back to things I don't understand. But as far as I'm concerned, brother, Macho Man on our own. Elizabeth is a turncoat. Flair has got each and everybody that's got his path, brother. As far as I'm concerned.
Elizabeth is a turncoat. I love it.
Put that spike in the Macho Man's eye. And if you think about it, brother, a week ago.
Yeah, Flair's probably they probably had a Flair clause. No more blood. Yeah, but you see Ric Flair's on the roster. Oh, okay, well, it's fine for him.
You're going to enter that steel cage. We've seen, it's been demonstrated how dangerous the match can be. And you've got 7 foot 4 inches, 400 pounds.
7 foot 4 inches.
You know something, brother? There's a little different story that's going to be going on tonight out there. My match, brother, is unsanctioned, dude. The rest
Unsanctioned.
is going to be on the outside of the ring. The only way to survive, dude, is the
Most people don't know what an unsanctioned match is. What it is, it's a match that doesn't have any sanctions.
Week on Nitro, your vision was impaired to your very left. Now, that could happen tonight in this
Not even one.
really turn this thing upside down.
Oh, yeah, brother, you know, I thought Liz was going to be watching my blind side, brother. I thought maybe the Macho Man would be watching my blind side. But the way
But now he's blind. And Elizabeth is on the other team.
to the front, brother, I can see to the right. And as far as I'm concerned, all the Hulkamaniacs, dude, and the big man upstairs, as my witness, will be guarding my blind side. What's that guy going to do?
I'm wondering if they gimmicked that patch on his eye so he could see through it.
Steel cage. Now this match unsanctioned.
Or sort of see through it.
On the outside, when the Giant and Hulk Hogan enter the ring, and the door will be closed. Ladies and gentlemen, we promised to
Yeah, it's kind of like WrestleMania 9 where Hogan worked with the Shina. He just should have put a patch on. It would look better.
back to the ring, and Michael W. Buffer.
Michael W. Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the action continues.
MWB.
2 of the Double Cage Rumble here at
The Double Cage Rumble.
SuperBrawl 6. Ladies and
We're just putting the main event in the cage too because we don't want to raise it.
are you ready?
As you saw earlier, it is a very janky setup.
For the second time tonight, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
All right, we're rumbling. Here comes the Giant and his spooky Dungeon of Doom music. It's very spooky. The Dungeon of Doom is spooky. The entire Dungeon of Doom presentation can be purchased at Halloween Express.
CW's Halloween Havoc. He weighs 460 pounds.
460 pounds. Yeah, I think you're right, Zane. It was Hogan had an injury at King of the Ring 93 and carried it all the way through Super Brawl. Burned right in his face. He's catching flames. He's catching high heel shoes. God knows what happened to him before WrestleMania 9.
He is the dynamic dominator of the
The dynamic dominator.
the man known as the Giant.
As you heard in the interview, it will be basically unsanctioned. Anything goes. The referee on the floor.
God, we're going to have to hear this Hogan music too. Jeez.
Over the top. Yeah, here we go. You may be hearing this song for the last time. Yeah, keep saying that, Brain. You may make yourself believe it. One moment.
Here he comes.
Wearing yellow and red, weighing 274 and 1/2 pounds, from Venice Beach, California. One of the most famous individuals on the Power. His wrestling skills place him among the
Yeah, some people really like his WCW theme. Just Smitty. I much prefer Real American. I don't really like it now just because the context of it, but I thought it was a much better theme than this. But if you're going to make a look at Hogan getting into the cage like that. If you're going to make a knockoff of Real American, I guess this is probably as good as you can make it. That was smart of WWE, though, to make sure that whatever they did, with that Rick Derringer theme, that they locked up ownership of it, because with an outside party being part of the whole thing, there was maybe a chance that they wouldn't own all the rights to it or whatever, and WCW could have picked it up and brought Real American over. Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. Hogan's going to go the whole match with his bandana on. Stepping on the throat of the Giant. So what happened after Giant beat Hogan at Halloween Havoc? Did they strip him, and that's why the title was on the line at World War III? Or was that the previous year the title was on the line? No, it was that year, 95. Yeah, I think that's right. And then Savage won it, right? Yeah, okay, that's why. Because he got thrown off the roof, and they still stripped him? That seems unfair. I feel like if you come back from the dead, you should be able to keep your belt. Speaking of stripping, I remember during Randy Savage's feud with the Honky Tonk Man in like 87, in more than one promo on TV, he kept referencing, I'm going to strip you naked. Right there, buck naked. He just kept talking about stripping Honky Tonk Man naked. And I'm like, yeah, that would be pretty embarrassing for him, but you're awfully obsessed with that. And it made me think it was going to happen. And then when they had their IC battle on Saturday night's main event, I remember thinking he was going to strip Honky naked, and he didn't. So I feel like we got robbed as fans there of a naked Honky. We got a naked Rude, kind of. Twice. Now, is Hogan going to start bleeding over his patched up eye? Is the Giant going to rip the patch off? Is Hogan... I can't tell if Hogan is bleeding. Oh, yeah, no, I don't think he's bleeding yet.
That's been the first thing he just sent the guy to do.
Yeah, but the Giant was not Tony in a real position to do that earlier because he was so ragtag by Hogan, you know. So his whole game plan might have just went out the window until he gets it back in. Yeah, that would be what I would do. But I mean, you got to remember he's in there with Hulk Hogan.
The Giant and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, see? And Macho's trying to pull down Flair's trunks in the last match a couple times. I think there's some questions about Macho there we need answered. He's into some stuff. I'm fine with whatever he wants to be into, but that needs to be behind closed doors, not in the middle of a ring.
Well, the only thing I can suggest is, Hogan, you keep an eye out for the Giant.
That's not funny.
Get out of here.
You really love it. You can like when Hogan is down.
Hogan's using the shirt.
Mr. Schiavone, yes, I do.
One of Hogan's homes right here in the Tampa Bay area, of course. The man who grew up in Venice Beach, California.
Hogan looks so different to me. That's why I separate all the Hogan eras. The yellow wristbands, the John Cena wristbands, was always weird. He ended his career in WWE with those in '93 and carried him into WCW instead of doing the wrist tape. He just looked different. Wristbands instead of wrist tape, dark eyebrows instead of light eyebrows, and tall and thin instead of tall and bulky. And a little bit less hair.
But watch Hogan. He fuels from the fans.
Yes, he does.
He gets the humanoid behind him. He gets his blood pumping. He gets his veins opened up. And that's what keeps this man alive. The Giant has to stop this momentum. Uh-oh.
Pick him up.
Oh, yeah.
He's calling to that power of Hulkamania.
Do it, brother. Reach down and do it.
We're gonna find out right now. Oh, yes.
Mm.
We sound like three Zodiacs right
Boy,
there.
I'm telling you. Yes, couldn't believe it. Three Zodiacs.
Yeah. Yes. No.
Well, the Giant, we talked about submission and giving up and making people bones and stuff, going over the top or going out the door. That's the key to this match right here. Because the referee, let's make note again, is on the outside.
The idea is to escape the cage in this all-out war.
Well, he's got to go after the eye. Like it or not, he's got to go after the eye.
Now you also got to wear him down to the point where he's defenseless, so you can go after the eye. And here we go into the corner. Hulk hits hard. The Giant kicks him in the solar plexus again. Look at the size of those feet. He's just a mammoth man. And
Jeez.
the foot is such that it's more of a force up against your solar plexus or against your back because of the sheer size.
What size shoe do you think that is?
It could be a 20, 19.
Well, I'll tell you, yeah, and guys, I'm going to tell you something now.
You guys don't know what size shoe it is? Jim Ross would know.
Yeah, going for the eye. But I see him
He'd know where he bought them.
wearing him down and trying to take all the power out of him right here.
Hogan hits the cage 2 times in a row. The Taskmaster calling out instructions from the floor.
Now, that's a very good point because he is wearing Hogan down despite Hulkamania and despite the human
Victor, I'm pretty sure you secretly loved it, but that's okay.
without going to the eye, just with brute force.
To be honest, I kind of did too. Just don't tell anybody.
Destroy Hulkamania. Snake in the grass, Jimmy Hart, and the devious Taskmaster.
What kind of thoughts do you think go on in Kevin Sullivan's mind on an average day?
I have no idea.
Well, they devilish.
It probably says, now
You can hear a critter in your attic? That's awesome. Feed it.
Jimmy Jet opens the cage.
Give it a Pop-Tart.
Opens it up. Hogan grabbing on that mammoth leg of the Giant. Won't let go.
Wait till it has little critter babies.
Well, he's trying to get out right here. You know, as much weight as he got, if he gets the lean and charge it, he's on the outside. Hogan's got to get him out of that door. Got to get him out of that panel right there. Close it back up. There you go.
Reversal, Hogan hits in. The Giant scoops him up with ease.
Big backbreaker.
Gigantic backbreaker.
Head for the door. Hit the door.
Hey, Brain, that's just one of their reasons here. One of their mocks of strategy. They want to destroy Hulkamania. If you're out of the door, how can you destroy Hulkamania?
Get out the door first, win the match. Then bring all your friends in the cage, lock the door, and take Hogan apart.
You would only think of
Bobby always has the answers. Here's what you do.
Here he goes, Hogan.
Into the cage again. Hogan's gone into the cage like 3 times. I see no blood.
Yeah, we'll think of the mash you got in the ring of Hogan.
Probably because
Size of a Hulkster.
the reason Hogan's not bleeding is because he's got red, white, and blue running through his veins.
them blows are really taking this.
It's the only explanation.
He's going for his leg. Hogan's just trying to get a touch on him. Hogan's just trying
But I don't see any red, white, and blue either. Oh, Hogan. Hogan is gimpy eye. It's droopy. Oh, bear hug, great. Yeah, he did. Hogan looked like, I still think he was overall smaller, but he did look bigger in 02. Hogan. A little more vascular. Wait, you sleep with a tennis racket? That's cool. I sleep with a lacrosse stick. Oh, Hogan is bleeding. All right. He is bleeding. That's good. Went into the cage enough times. You ripped the patch off your eye. Your stitches are all a mess. Where's the Yeti? Oh, my God, the Yeti. That was a good old Halloween Havoc. I'm pretty sure we've watched the Yeti and Giant Dry Hump Hogan into oblivion. We watched that one a couple years ago. Hogan just came off the juice. No, because he went on Arsenio Hall and said he's never been on the juice. So that must be wrong, because Hogan wouldn't just go on TV and lie. That would be weird. So, yeah, I don't think he was ever on steroids, Hulk Hogan, because he said so. So you're probably wrong, Jay. Oh. Does Hogan have a dingle in his fucking trousers? A DB? Or in his britches? That's what I meant to say, not trousers. Baseball bat's good. You know what we should try? Sleep with a weed whacker. You'll love it. It's an amazing time. You'll sleep like a baby. Oh, there he is. Hogan's up. Oh. Is Hogan biting him again? Try to open up the Giant. Oh, he's bleeding too. Hogan might have bladed Giant himself. Jeez. Yeah, using Giant's own momentum to bounce him off the other side. On the roof of Cobo Hall. I saw Sesame Street live as like a 5-year-old at Cobo Hall. Fucking Big Bird and shit all out there. Pick him up. Big slam. Where there's no referee. Where the hell is the referee? Down. Can you just escape the cage and win this? Well, that's good. At least they don't pin. Oh, giant Undertaker set up. Hulk, you're not going to make it, bro. Like these two guys are going to do a spot. Give me a break. We're going to do a superplex. Like Hogan will never bump from up there. Not in a million years. Giant will. Oh. And he hit. I love that Hogan can't quite get his leg. Look at him. Look at him trying to do it. Oh, that's so horrible looking. Hogan, you are not the best cage climber. He's like, that hurt my fucking junk. Oh, and Taskmaster's in with a chair immediately. Oh, now he's going to put him in there too? Hogan is so courageous. Yeah, Giant is still in there. Where's the rest of the Legion of Doom? You got the Dungeon of Doom and the Legion of Doom. Vince would have never let that happen. We can't have two Dooms in here. Look how little Taskmaster is. Oh, no. Oh, Shark is here. Look at Shark. Oh, Lord. One chair. This is like Austin with the stunners. Everybody just waiting for their turn. Oh, hey, look. There's One Man Gang and Tenta. I don't know what One Man Gang did there, but Tenta had to get out of Dodge. So look, they're in the ring again together. Just like the gimmick battle royal. Yeah, One Man Gang and Earthquake, man. That's a match we need to have. Oh my, it almost looks like there's a fifth wall on that cage, the way that door is open like that. Oh, so this is the first time seeing what's his face here, right? I mean, he was bigger than, like, Yoko in 96. Because Yoko was ballooning up there. Yeah, Ray. Loch Ness is giant haystacks. The music is still playing, so this is what's going to set up that crazy-ass match, right? Yeah, it's giant haystacks, not that Haystacks Calhoun. Haystacks Calhoun. I don't know when he died, but it was way before this. Yeah, let him go, for crying out loud. Like, all he is big, you know? Thank God Hall and Nash should be coming in here later to save this nonsense. The Dungeon of Doom. What's in your dungeon? Doom. Look at him. They're all holding him back. He looks like he's wearing like he's a mechanic. He owns a mechanic shop. Big Jim's Auto Repair. Really big Jim. Yeah, Hogan's chair shot on Horace was the only stiff one I think he ever threw. All right, well, right on, guys. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I'll keep you posted on tomorrow. I'm not sure about Raw yet tomorrow, but I'm going to be up here this week where we'll do a little mini podcast where we'll be predicting Elimination Chamber. So we'll be talking about things one way or the other. I'll probably do that either ahead of Dynamite on Wednesday or on Thursday. One of those 2 days. We'll be up here and we'll do it live. We'll do it in the afternoon. So just keep that in mind, and then I'll let you guys know about everything else. We will be here on Saturday to do our Elimination Chamber live reaction, and then that means 1 week from today, we should be here watching another classic watch-along. And then I think a week from this Sunday, after that would be, or next Sunday, 2 weeks from today, is what I'm trying to say, is Revolution on the 9th, I believe. So we'll be here watching that. So lots of stuff coming. I'll be posting links up. You guys have a great rest of your night. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll be catching you earliest tomorrow, latest probably Wednesday. Y'all have a good one. Peace.